As a quick disclaimer. The views and opinions you're about to hear are those of the hosts and guests alone. They don't represent any police department, agency, sponsor, or employer. Two Cops, One Donut isn't responsible for anything said by guests or for any videos, clips, or content shown during the live stream. This show is intended for adult audiences only. We cover real incidents, we show graphic and sometimes disturbing footage, and we don't shy away from strong language or adult conversations. There may or may not also be alcohol involved. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Everything you hear or see on the show is for entertainment and educational purposes. It is not legal advice, and it's not tactical instruction. And it shouldn't be used for such. By continuing to watch, you're telling us that you understand, you accept all this. All right, now let's get into it. All right, welcome back. I'm your host, Sergeant Eric Levine, and my co-host, Banning Sweatland from Two Cops, One Donut. And our special guest today is from the one and only Blackwater, which is kind of a cool thing we're going to talk about today. Morgan, is it Lorette or is it Lerette?
It's Lerette. Yeah, it's French Canadian. Don't tell anybody.
Oh, me too. Levine, French Canadian. Hey, we're brothers.
I can't tell you what I am. I'm just a weirdo.
Banning is he's got a Texas porn name, so that's what we like to. Yeah, I mean, Banning.
It works.
I mean, him, I seems like this gets brought up a lot on the show, but we have Banning Sweatland we've had on. We've had Houston Gas, another guy from Texas. I feel like we're missing one more, Banning. Very intriguing names, but yeah.
Jared Frenchlick from Indiana. That's got to be it.
Oh, shit. Wilson Farthouse, I think we had that guy on too. Anyway. Glad to have you on. You reached out. I think we crossed streams somewhere on a Air Force. No, not an Air Force post. It was some kid holding up, a military guy's holding up a sign.
Yeah.
He says, quit saying that you almost joined Special Forces. And
quit saying you supported Special Forces.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah. So this is what I tell people is that if you talk to somebody and they say, I supported Special Forces, they're automatically a turd. Because anybody can say that they supported Special Forces. When I was in the Army as an intel officer, I supported Special Forces, which meant they went out and kicked in doors. They brought us intelligence, and then we would give them intelligence back to go find the next door to kick in. So I'm like, oh, I totally supported those Special Forces guys.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite line is to tell everybody that I am SF, and anybody that knows me and my sense of humor, they can see through the bullshit immediately. But SF, for those wondering, is Special Forces. That's typically what that lingo means. Well, I just happen to fall in a career field in the Air Force that's called Security Forces. And we wear an SF on our sleeve.
It's the real SF.
Yeah, it's real SF. And people always ask, like, well, what kind of stuff do you do? I was like, well, basically, I stand at a gate. When you come through, I wave you forward. I make you stop. I grab your ID. I look at both sides. Now I get to use a fancy scanner. Before I just had to be like, yeah, it looks legit. And then say, thank you, sir. And if you were an officer, I salute you. And you just tell me to F off while you drive past. And
you weren't in back in the day when it was just a sticker, were you? Like it used to just be before 9/11. If you had a blue sticker, you saluted while you waved them in. If you had a yellow orange sticker, you were an NCO. And if you had a red sticker, you were enlisted. So it used to just be like, look at the sticker and go.
Yeah.
And now after September 11th, you had to really, really look at that ID.
I was going to say, they had the color code on there. It was a line. They changed it to like if you looked at your photo, right under the photo would be like a line that was colored of some sort. I guarded nukes for the most part when I first started. But yeah, I'm young. I'm probably the youngest one on this panel tonight. I'm 43.
45. I'm sorry.
Banning's 62.
Yeah. 47-ish. Yeah, 47, I think. I'm stopping now.
What's funny is I know we kind of joke that we're trying to think of our age, but I really have to think about it anymore.
I just think about my wife's because she's 10 years younger.
Yes. My wife is 10 days younger. So Yeah, that's how we roll. That's because we have no memory. I have the memory of a goldfish. Looking at the chat, up the L rounds says what happened to SP. I loved near Luke Air Force Base. They were SPs yet. Security police.
Oh, I can actually tell you that. So it was security police, and I was actually out at Luke Air Force Base. So it was security police, and then they had security something else. And they decided to combine the two. So you're no longer security police and then security watch a plane. So they combined it to be security forces. Now, what they didn't tell me is when I joined up in 1999, they did not say, you're not going to do a lot of cop work. You are going to do a lot of airplane watching. They really pushed the you're going to be a cop thing.
Yes.
And then they were like, hey, there's a plane over there. Make sure nobody runs at it.
Yeah. from hundreds of yards away.
This is not what I thought, because they had God, I can't remember what the other one was, what they combined it with, but it was essentially like the security, the infantry type stuff that they did.
Yeah, you had security and you had police. That was the split, and then they combined the two, and now, oh my God, I'm telling you, like the law enforcement side of it is just gone. Like that's one of the reasons I joined. I was like, I want to be a cop. Too young to be a cop. Let me join up and I can learn how to start being a cop. And then really what I learned was how to guard prairie dogs out in Montana. So I laugh. And so I'll tell you a little bit of my background, Morgan. And Banning was a Marine, so he was real military. And then I joined in 06. So I joined during a time of war thinking like, I'm going to get some get back on these fuckers after 9/11 and all that, just like a lot of young kids thought. And I needed something to pay for my college. And so did that, joined, wanted to be a cop. I knew I was going to be a cop when I got out. So I was like, I'll join security forces. Air Force had the reputation for having the best cop unit out of all the branches. So that's what I did. All geared up to go do some fun shit. And I just stayed in Montana for 4 years, active duty. And I just got the shit sandwich of being stuck at a nuke base. And when you get a nuke base, you only go to nuke bases. You're kind of just blacklisted. You get your security clearance, and that's all you got to do. So my 4 years of active duty, I just stayed in Montana at what was it? Malmstrom was the name. I thought I was going to Germany. When I first got my thing, I was like, Malmstrom, yes, go to Germany. My buddy's like, that's fucking Montana, idiot. I was like, oh, I'm dumb. So
I'm sitting there at Lackland Air Force Base being like, no way, I'm not trading with anybody, man. I got Germany.
I know. Oh, so mad. I mean, I'm just glad like 3/4 of my guys did get stuck at Lackland. Like that's where I was like, I got to get out of here. So Banning, give them a little bit of your background, sir.
4 years in the Marine Corps. Directly after high school, got in 97. I got out just before the towers got hit. I was in Marine Corps Security Force Company, which is no longer, now it's part of, we didn't have any specialized, but now we have MARSOC and all that. Marine Corps Security Force Company was kind of, I guess, from what I'm gathering, was sucked up through it. Then right after that, as soon as I got out, honorable discharge, got right into law enforcement here in North Texas, or I'm in San Antonio right now. I apologize for the backdrop. My wife didn't decide to come in and clean my office. This is the the Westin Hotel or whatever down here in San Antonio. Anyway, got into
Westin, yes.
It's the only one that had availability. So it's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, they have the plus size rooms.
Yes, law enforcement did everything under the sun. Got into K9 really young into my career. Did that for about 9 years. Pretty much stayed patrol element throughout supervisory all the way up to administrative role. Did 21, almost 22 years in law enforcement, and met Eric through a mutual friend. And he asked me to be a part of this. I love what Eric's doing. I support it 100%. And here we are, man. We get awesome guys like you on the show. So
yeah.
I'm a nobody, man. I'm just out here to echo all the goodness and bring some good things to people that don't understand law enforcement. We're trying to bridge that gap. That's why Eric created this, and that's what we're all about, brother.
Hell yeah. Well, Morgan, our background is nowhere near as fun and exciting as yours. So can you lead off? I want to lead off with, I know we've just been bullshitting for the last 10 minutes, but I like giving people a chance to log on and see what we're doing. We are live on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So everybody that's on any of those platforms other than YouTube, if you really want to get in on the chat, please go over to our YouTube channel, Two Cops, One Donut, and you can chit chat with us. But Morgan, I'm going to leave the floor to you now, sir. Kind of give us your background and what led you into a life of service, if you will, and kind of take the road of your career.
My origin story, like Thanos.
Yes.
So I grew up in a small town in Arizona called Cottonwood, Arizona, and we were just free range kids, man. So, I grew up in a trailer park. It was spectacular. I loved it. The beauty of it is like when you're like the white trash kid, all your friends are the white trash kid too. So like, you don't really know that there's rich kids out there until you hit about high school. And my dad is like, well, he was like the biggest abject loser, like in and out of jails and all the other stuff. So somewhere around 17, I was like, I'm going to go the opposite way, man. I'm going to become a cop. And just like you, I was 16 years old. I had to stop smoking weed, which was kind of a bummer. And then I was like, well, I'm going to go become a police officer. I graduate high school. And I was like, well, how do you become a police officer when you're 18? Well, you don't, is the short answer. So I joined the Air National Guard thinking, okay, they'll give me training. They'll give me college. I get through training at Lackland Air Force Base. Still hate that place to this day. Not a fan. And as soon as I got done, like I started getting into college, I was doing a criminal justice degree. I was going to be a cop, man. And then September 11th happened and they were like, Osama bin Laden has changed your plans, Morgan. And I was like, what a dick.
You're right.
So I ended up getting activated for 2 straight years. It's funny because it's like, it's so much luck of the draw. Like you said, you went to Malmstrom Air Force Base and you were protecting nukes. We were an Air National Guard unit that like they just didn't have the active duty forces. So they started sending National Guard all over the place. So my first pump was to Oman. It was hell. We had a Burger King and we had like a beach. Oh. And there was all these dead jellyfish on the beach every morning. So when we go to the beach, we'd pick them up and throw them at each other and hit them with the boogie boards. I hit my buddy with a jellyfish like right underneath his armpit. It like stung him. It was great, man. It was
typical military games. Yeah. The only jellyfish I had were in the bottom of the bathtub. So
yeah. So dude, September 11th, I do my first pump and then they're like, hey, we're getting ready to go into Iraq. We need a team of 13. So I volunteered. We go into Jordan. There's like the super secret base. Now everybody knows we're in Jordan, but we were pushing the SF guys into Jordan, from Jordan and into Iraq. We had like the Predator, the Hellfire and Brimstone Predator drones. And then we went into Iraq during the ground offensive. The first night, like Nazarene is blowing up, like Jessica Lynch had just got kidnapped, and like it was crazy pants. And then 2 days later, dude, it was all over. And I went back to being security forces, where I was like stopping people from driving onto an active runway. Like it was literally just doing gate guard duty. And I was like, is this it? Is this really it, man? Like this is my war. So we finally got let off active duty. My buddy, who was a recon Marine, he was in the National Guard for college money. Became pretty close friends. And he's like, I'm going to go work for this company called Blackwater. And I was like, oh, those guys that just got hanged off the bridge in Iraq. And he's like, yeah, you should come, bro. Yeah. And I was like,
it's a good time.
I don't think so. Like, I'm not nearly as cool as you. He was a force recon guy out of Okinawa. So he goes to Moyock, North Carolina, and they're like, you guys know anybody else that's dumb enough to do this job? And he's like, my buddy Morgan will do it. So I got a call literally like 3 days after he got there. They're like, hey, Mike says you're good in the pocket. You want to come out? And I was like, I'm security forces. Like, I know it's SF. Don't get me wrong. But it's security forces. And the guy's like, just come on out. If you make it, great. If you don't, not a big deal. And I went out there. It was 2 weeks of training, shoot, move, communicate, PT test. It was all pretty easy stuff. And next thing I know, like my Department of State security clearance came in. And they were like, go to Iraq. So it was like early July, within I don't know, 3.5 weeks, I was in Iraq working for Blackwater, and I was like, what in the flying hell am I doing here? This is spectacular. I love every bit of it.
Bro, I got to have you come into some of our freaking guard mounts and just inspire the men. I'm like, he was just one of us, boys. Look what he accomplished. I don't think anybody would believe it. Okay, so listen, this is every military guy. The first words out of your mouth was, how much does it pay? How much were they paying?
Yeah.
How much were they paying?
No, they said, do you want to work for Blackwater? And I said, no, not really. And he's like, what about for $500 a day and a 10% bonus at the end? And I was like, I do want to work for Blackwater.
I didn't know I did, but now,
yeah,
after some reflection and some time.
Yeah, so it was like, dude, it's like $15,000 a month back in 2004, and I had just made E5, so like I was kind of rolling in it. Don't get me wrong.
I don't want to brag, but every shipper knew my name.
So yeah, and then you got a 10% bonus, and then if you were there for Christmas, you got $3,000. You stay there for Thanksgiving, you got another $3,000. So if you did the whole thing like soup to nuts, and you took 1 month off, it was like $200,000.
Mama.
Yeah. So like Trailer Park Morgan was like, I'm rich.
Yeah, I'm rich.
Yeah. But dude, it was like, it was just the weirdest. It was like Morgan and all these guys that were like SEALs and SF and like Army Rangers and you name it. And then they're like, oh yeah, we got a security forces guy. I was like,
yeah. So,
he's pretty bad.
You go through now. I've been around the block and I've trained in a lot of things. Jiu-jitsu is one of my favorite things that I've trained in. And one of the things that I learned very early in jiu-jitsu and in sports in general, growing up being athletic, when you play around high caliber players, it brings your game up. And so you jumping in as a security forces guy, which I love my security forces guys, don't get me wrong, but we are the base level of competency when it comes to anything tactical. Like you got some basic room clearing abilities, shoot and communicate, move and communicate, all that. Like it's very basic. It's like right there with an infantry guy, maybe. And I never did Army, so I can't even.
Not quite.
Yeah. I can't even.
But we could smell his breath from where we're standing.
There we go. Good enough. I could take that. So in that, you're there with the elite. If you've got some Navy SEAL guys there, some Delta Force or whatever the fuck they call themselves, Green Berets, you got all those guys there. Like, how quickly did it bring your game up before you ever seen anything real?
Well, so the crazy part is that I got to go back to a history lesson, but like there was no war pretty much since Vietnam, right? And then you had a little bit of Desert Storm, you had some Panama, you had some Somalia, but for the most part, you had this 20-year gap of guys that had trained and become like the best trained soldiers on the planet. And then they never got their war on. Now, on the one hand, it's like, holy crap, this guy's like a former Ranger, former SEAL, former SF. But on the other hand, like they didn't stay proficient, right? When you're not shooting all the time, you just kind of, you lose that. So we had a lot of guys in Moyock, North Carolina that just like they were missing. We had one guy on the range and he kept missing at like 300 meters. And he's like, I think my weapon's not zeroed. And like the guy gets down behind it, plinks the target 3 times and is like, it's fine, dude. Like, so, yeah. So there were some guys, but nobody had really gone to Iraq. We may have had a couple of guys that had gone to Afghanistan, but it was all these guys that had gotten out 3, 4, 5 years earlier that were like, this is my chance to go do war. Let's go get our war on. So I was actually probably more proficient with a weapon than those guys. Tactically, they were absolutely way more proficient than I was. But you're not going in and clearing buildings and doing all that other stuff. You're protecting a diplomat, and that's something that nobody knew how to do. So we all had to kind of be trained in that. Now, once I got on ground and I started hanging out, literally like the SEAL Team 6 guys, the CAD guys, like those guys, they definitely elevate you when you're on ground. But through training, I felt like a fish out of water, but I probably didn't look like a fish out of water. It helps that I was like yoked out on steroids. Like that was
at least you're honest with it.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have to piss test, so you'd be fine, right?
Oh, you had to piss test, but they don't check for steroids. I was like,
oh, okay,
man. Yeah.
I got you. I mean,
completely different test panel.
I think I want my soldiers to be juiced. Like I think I need you on all the gear. Honestly. I mean, you want your guy is physically.
I don't know about trend. You got to be careful with the trend, but
I don't know. I've never used any of that shit, so I don't know. But like war fighting, like if you're gonna be in that, you need to be as fit as possible. Like this ain't a pro sport where the playing field's got to be fair. I don't want it fair. I want every angle I could get. So I think that would be acceptable. So how much of what people think they know about Blackwater is actually true versus what Hollywood kind of showed?
Dude, so a lot of it was really just combat Uber, right? So the mission, damn it, I have to go back in history again. So when we went into Iraq, we were like, we don't want to be occupiers, right? That's all George W. Bush would say. Oh, we're not there to occupy. We're not there to occupy. So we created this interim government. And then we gave that back to the Iraqis and said, now it's your country. We're here if you want us to be, but we'll leave, which is horse crap. They still have a lot of oil. And they were like, you guys need to learn how to actually run a country. Because all the Ba'ath Party guys, you hear about how the Ba'ath Party got disbanded and they got rid of the military. Well, they also got rid of everybody that had run any government organization. So everything from how do you get oil out of the ground to how do you sell it onto the international market, to picking up trash, to like the day-to-day keep electricity on, all those guys were fired and they were all running to make IEDs and blow us up because they were pissed off. But they started bringing in diplomats and they said, okay, now we're going to help you guys build. Well, the State Department has diplomatic security services, but none of those guys are combat. Like they're the guys that are going to hang out with Hillary Clinton when she's at the State Department and take her to China, right? Like they're not for security. They're to stand there just in case to eat a bullet. So they hired Blackwater and said, can you protect these guys? And we're like, yeah, we can do whatever, man. It doesn't matter. We know how to do that. So we had everybody from like the FAA was sending people over to teach them how to land planes, like setting up Excel spreadsheets. We went to the stock market that they created, and it was like chalk on a chalkboard. Like it looked like an old horse race from the 1930s. Oh shit! Like they're like, oh, Seabiscuit is selling for $3.22 right now.
Move the abacus.
Yeah. So it was like everything. It was absolutely everything. And our job was, hey, this guy wants to go from here to here, and he's going to teach them how to, I don't know, do something, and then bring him back. So it was literally just combat Uber. Just get the guy in, get him there as fast as you can, as safe as you can, and get him home. Now, the downside of that, not for me, but the downside of that is we didn't have like the UCMJ. We didn't have like the chain of command. We didn't have the rules and the regulations and the laws and all the other stuff. So how are you going to get that person from point A to point B or B? You're going to do it violently. And that's what we did. It was like, oh, you're in our way, I'm going to smash you. Oh, you're coming too close, I'm going to shoot you. Like there was no like evaluation or like evolution of force. It wasn't like, okay, now ask him to stop nice. It was like, got close, shoot his car.
So you made your own rules of engagement, all that.
Yeah, if there was a rules of engagement briefing, I've slept through it. I don't know.
Jesus.
Like, but I mean, it was literally like, okay, try not to piss these people off, and you don't want to be a psycho because you want to be able to sleep at night. But yeah, if a car gets too close, car bombs were big in 2004, got bigger in 2005. You know, it was literally like it was Mad Max. It was the weirdest thing ever. Like having the social mores and the rules of engagement and all those things not apply. It's like, I don't know. It's like an apotheosis. It's like becoming a god in a war zone. And you're like, and then all the military guys think that you're out there hunting Osama bin Laden, and you have to tell them Osama bin Laden's in Pakistan. You know, he's not actually in Iraq. But yeah, it was like there was a lot of ego that went into going and working for Blackwater. It was pretty rad. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I bet there was a lot of ego. When you got there, like what surprised you the most as you're learning it all?
Oh, that everybody at Blackwater in Moyock, North Carolina was full of crap. Just full of crap.
Yeah.
So I was in the 4th class, which means the 1st and the 2nd class had, maybe there was 40 people on ground ahead of me, maybe 50. All those guys are coming in and they're like, here's what you do and here's how you do it. And then it occurred to me, you guys just got here like a week and a half ago. Like, you have no idea what you're doing either. Yep. And then in Moyoc there, they told us, don't worry, we got all this armor and you guys are going to be so safe and it's going to be great. And then they pick us up in a soft skin Peugeot SUV that has like plates welded on the side. They give us an old sweaty vest, like plate carrier vest. It smells like the garbage pits. It smells like you're out there stirring the turds, right? Like it is not good. Give us one round or one magazine. And they were like, put that in your M4 and we're just going to go down the most bombed route in Baghdad. It's not a big deal, guys. So, and I was like, you guys, this was not on the brochure.
I didn't sign up for this.
You guys told me there was armor. There's no armor. And there was more armor as we went through. But like the first thing was most bombed route, no armor, one magazine. Oh, and if the poop hits the fan, there's like a plate, like a chest plate that's down by you. You could like hold that up by the window and be like, "No, please stop it, please."
Yeah.
It was just
7.62 doesn't hit that hard. You just hold it there. You'd be fine.
Well, you gotta stretch. You gotta make sure your elbows are locked
out. Yeah, you gotta lock out. Yeah. And that works for grenades, IEDs, all that stuff. That'd be fine.
Yeah. So look. That was the weirdest part is usually with the military, you could go over there and there's a plan and people kind of know what they're doing. And it just felt like we were making it up as we went from day one all the way until I left like 18 months later.
Okay. So you did it for about 18 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the whole thing that kind of stemmed this off was that you had said you could tell the difference between former cops and former military guys working at Blackwater. Like, what did you mean by that?
So look, security forces, they train you in law enforcement, even though you never use it. But there's an escalation of force, right? Like stop, shout, whatever. I don't even remember. It's like the 5 S's or
security forces. Yeah.
Don't cross the red line. With the cops that came over, though, they had too many morals. I'm going to be honest. Like they had like way more morality than most of the guys. And these are the cops that weren't like prior service. Most of the prior service cops were, just as crazy as we were. But the ones that were like,
you had straight law enforcement. Yeah. I want for the audience to understand, you had straight law enforcement, no military background at all. They signed up to do Blackwater.
Yeah. Cause they were like, that sounds like good money. And then they were like, oh, I left my job as a cop. And now I don't have any money coming in. Now I have to be on Blackwater forever. But we can get into that later. But The escalation of force is just different. So we call them tender hearts. They'd be like, "Oh, why'd you shoot at that car? Oh, from my vantage point, it was coming up. It wasn't coming up. It was slower, and you didn't have to." And it was like, dude, military guys are like, blast. It's just time. Blast. Oh, too close. Blast.
Yeah.
So, and dude, they loved writing reports and stuff. We had, when I got in the QRF, we kind of had a standing order. Like if nobody saw it happen, it didn't happen. It's not a big deal. Don't bring it up. And then you'd have the cop. We had like one cop. And we ended up shooting. So we're coming out of this like roundabout and we're taking a left and this car is coming up on us and like 3 people engage this car. Like it's coming up on us. And then one of those rounds skipped off the ground and hit an IP, but we just drove off because we had no idea. But somebody in the back was like, "Who shot the Iraqi policeman?" And we're like, "Bleh?" And he's like, "No, seriously, like somebody shot the Iraqi policeman." And we're like, "Well, he shouldn't have been standing there, bro." And he wanted to have this big drawn out conversation and do a report on it and everything else. And we're like, no, that's not how this works, bro. Like
it's a war zone.
Yeah.
It's a war zone. It's different. It is different.
I can tell you the difference of law enforcement that went over. Great morals, go over there. They want to make some extra money for their kids, 2 young kids at the house. They put it aside. They'd spend maybe 2 to 4 years total as a contractor over there throughout the changes of triple canopy, everything else. And then they come back and then they resume a patrol position and you almost have to retrain. because what they're exposed to over there versus here in the United States, holy shit. You know what I'm saying? And I know Morgan can expound on that big time, but coming back here, a lot of different rules, a lot of different heartstrings. You got to do everything the right way. And I knew guys before they went over, and then when they came back, completely different story, man.
Yeah, we changed them as fast as we could. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, you had to. It's survival. It makes sense. Like, I get it. And I could admit, if I were to go over there, I would have the same problem. It would be very hard and difficult for me to deal with that. But the military training in me understands that there's some natural, I don't know how to explain it, but there's some natural like rules that just everybody knows. You don't drive up too fast on a military convoy or anybody that looks like they're military. And if
that's what you say, but you aren't an Iraqi. So
well, that's what I'm saying. They would learn that over time. Like that's over the years of us being there. Eventually, most of them figured that out. Otherwise, the warning rounds, if you guys had time to even do that, if that didn't get it through your head, like I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, so every day was like the Baghdad 500, man, because a lot of these guys just didn't drive under Saddam Hussein. And as this is just rumor, but what we were told is essentially like if you weren't a Ba'ath Party member, you didn't drive. So all these people pulled their old jalopies out and they started driving around the roads. And there's no laws. Like if you've driven in Europe, it's like that. If my bumper's in front of your bumper, I'm allowed to get in front of you type driving stuff. And these guys, like, for some reason you could honk, you could yell, you could throw stuff at them, and you'd be like pointing at them like you need to stop, and they'd be like like yes you. And then on the back of our convoy it would be like stay back 500 meters or we'll use lethal force or we will kill you. And these guys are like, yeah, he's talking to somebody else. It's really not that big of a deal.
It can't be me.
So like and we try to do the right thing, right? Like we would grab rocks, we grab water bottles and stuff. And there's videos on YouTube where like people would throw water bottles at a car to try to get them out of the way. Because if you're behind them with a siren on and honking with like literally an air horn, they won't move. They just sit there in front of you. And then when you hit their car, they're like, why would you do that? And it's like, bro, there's not rules of the road here, but there's rules of being around us. And by God, get the hell out of our way. So it started off with like rocks and then water bottles. And then, I mean, I don't know, we piss into water bottles and throw those at people for a while. And then we got pin flares. And then a lot of pin flares got shot probably just because it was fun to watch reactions. But nothing will stop a car faster than taking like a 5.56 round into your tire or into your radiator. And that would stop them almost every other time. The craziest part was they didn't care about rifles. So if I pointed my rifle at you, they'd be like, it's Tuesday. This feels normal.
Right.
You pull out a pistol, those guys react because pistols were used for executing people. So you bring out a pistol and they're like, holy crap.
Symbology behind it.
Yeah. But a 240 Bravo, they're sitting there like a fully automatic 240 Bravo in the back. And they're like, not a big deal.
Yeah. If anybody catches that reference where I said symbology, I'll give you 10 extra points. So we like to throw some Easter eggs out there. Okay. So you get the cops out there. You obviously have to, you have to get them seasoned.
We got to do quick evolution. Like,
how long did that take typically?
It's probably getting towards their second contract. They'd start turning into savages like us.
How long is a contract typically? 6 months?
Yeah. So you do your first 6 month pump. And then it depended on where you were. A lot of the police officers, I don't know if this is factually accurate, but it felt like a lot of the police officers went to the places that were like not right under the flagpole. They weren't the green zone, right? It was Kirkuk, it was Al Hilla, it was some of these other places where if it was Ramadi, Fallujah, those guys, those were all just former pipe hitters. So you kind of, you don't get to choose who you're there with, but you could always kind of choose where they go. But yeah, after a few months, they'd start turning into savages. We had a couple of guys that were former, they were SWAT guys. One was a K-9 guy. The other guy was a SWAT guy up in like Minneapolis. And I was like, oh, Minnesota, it's pretty up there. They're like, Minneapolis. And I was like, I don't know what that means. They're like, let me tell you some stories about Minneapolis SWAT. And I was like, all right, come on, you can get in the car. You're fine.
I could not imagine. Now, as far as police tactics and training, how would that compare to like a security forces guy? Because I've been around some cops that are fucking squared away. SWAT guys, especially. Like one of my SWAT guys, you and I talked offline about. His name was Dennis Elise. For anybody that he was a legend on our department, and if anybody wants to see anything about Dennis, he pitted a car with a Bearcat against orders, which was epic. So that's why he's got somebody. He did Blackwater. And we thought after he did the pit thing and he went through his investigation, that's where he was going to go back to something like that. But he didn't. He ended up finding something here in the States. But yeah, I'm just curious, how did they do with the training compared to other military branches?
I mean, the training wasn't that difficult. What you did notice, and this wasn't just cops, a lot of the people that went to Moyoc, they were in that window where they didn't get to use all their cool training and stuff. So when we started walking the diamond, right? So you start like this, and then your principal's in the middle. That looks a little dirty.
I was going to say,
easy now.
Keep showing me what you got there, sir.
So the principal's in the middle, and then you post up two guys at the door, and then one guy goes up there with the principal, and we had this training exercise where I was outside the door. And they were like, the principal's been kidnapped. So I'm like not the closest guy to the door. There's two older guys that were former Army Rangers. And they like in training, their eyes got big and they were like, ugh! And it was me and this other recon guy. And we just like storm through the door. We go up there, we kind of pie off. They have like a gun to the principal's head. So we pie it off. And then one of them engages me, shoots me right in the hand, which if you've had a lipstick round in the hand, like it hurts. It just
the knuckles, the ass, and the neck. I hate
that. So he drills me, and then we open fire on him, and then everybody's like, "Oh, that was really good. Oh, that was great." And then they're like, "What happened to the two guys that were closest to the door?" And we're looking over at these two old guys, like, "Yeah, you guys are cowards. This is training. This is Moyoc, North Carolina. What the hell, man?"
We're not even in shit yet.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of trepidation when when you realize like you're gonna have to be the guy that just says yes and goes, and you have no idea. Like, dude, I couldn't have told you what that house looked like. It turns out that you run in, and then there's a staircase. At the top of the staircase, a small landing, and then there was like a couple of small rooms. So we ended up clearing the whole thing, but the guy I went with, he went to Iraq during the ground offensive. I was in Iraq during the ground offensive, and apparently we didn't have that much to live for in training, so we just went for it. And these two old guys are like, we didn't. So what we ended up doing is a lot of those guys ended up being drivers, like especially in the back vehicles, because you want your lead vehicle to be like confrontational, right? You got to clear traffic. After that, everybody can follow you. So the old guys. Go ahead and drive in the back, just follow the guy in the front. And then some of those guys was like, dude, I can't be out here in the red zone with you, man. And they'd end up putting them into like the operations, the head shed, where it was like, okay, you guys can be the ones that say, okay, I want you to go over here, and this is your route, and this is and we'd be like, hey, thanks. We'd take it, and then we'd just ignore it and go do whatever we wanted.
God, how bad did that piss you off? They're getting paid the same.
I mean, I was there for the adventure. So we went to Sulaymaniyah. We were protecting the guys that were collecting evidence against Saddam Hussein and Chemical Ali. Like if there ever was a mission where I was like, Blackwater did something good, it was this one, right? Yeah. So we would be going out to these mass graves. We'd be talking to these town elders. It would be on CNN within like 48 hours. And they'd be like, yeah, there's this new evidence that, he gassed all these Kurdish people, killed all the military aged males back in like 1997. So when we got up there, we were supposed to be there for 2 weeks. And next thing you know, we're like 8 weeks in. And I was like, dude, this is Gilligan's Island. Like, I can't do this. I can't live in a hotel and lose my mind. Like, I came here to do something. And we ended up having like a mini mutiny. And I would say like 10 of us ended up leaving, and they brought 10 people up, which I didn't realize. I thought we were just being like, okay, all my crap's in Baghdad. I want to be down in Baghdad. That's where like the running and gunning is. And we come back to, and we're like pariahs. They're like, you guys had a mutiny against your leadership. And I was like, the guy that was sleeping in his room? Like, oh, we never sleep in his room. What do you mean? Like, a mutiny? Like, this sucked.
Trying to earn our money over here.
But yeah, dude, like a lot of those guys were perfectly happy. The older guys, they were perfectly happy going to a place, making all the money that they could ever make. One guy had a sleep apnea machine.
Oh my God.
He'd be getting on a helicopter, and he'd be like his roller case behind him with a sleep apnea machine. And I'd be like,
CPAP.
Like, how the hell are you dragging a CPAP around on like a 2-day flyaway mission, man?
Especially back then when they were beastly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, and I was like, what is that? He's like, I die in my sleep. And I was like, well, it's probably not a bad thing. You suck.
Right. Let nature take its course. Who stops breathing when they sleep? Oh,
so those guys were great because you needed people that were going to go and do those like boring things. But like younger 23-year-old me, I was like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, the money's great, but this sucks. I'm gonna go home and become a cop.
Fuck yeah.
Not really.
So you're doing protective services over there. You're building the squads and teams, right? So if you were to build, what was that, Banning?
Asset protection.
Yeah. So let's say you're building what you would consider the perfect squad. How many in that squad? And then what would they consist of? Would any of them be law enforcement?
Yeah, you know what, dude? The law enforcement guys, some of them were like spectacular drivers, and they were spectacular, like understanding the roads. And like I'm like a savant when it comes to roads. If I've seen it once, like I'll know how to get there. But a lot of these guys, I realized later, they were just happy looking out the window, being like, "Oh, there's a hummingbird. Did you see that? It was pretty." Like, they had no idea where we were going. We would just show up and park, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're here."
Yeah, they don't know where north, south, east, west is at.
Yeah, so dude, like those are the window licker guys. They're great. Don't get me wrong. They'll open the door, they'll shoot a gun, but they have no sense of direction. So the cops were good there. The Navy SEALs always thought that they kind of knew everything more than anybody else, which look that's their reputation. The SF guys were like tactically sound, but like fat. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, a lot of them were just fat dudes.
Really?
But they would argue back to you about like, oh, well, if like they were argumentative. The best ones over there were like your recon Marines, because you could literally be like, I want you to do this, and they'll do it. And then be like, now go stand over at that door for the next 4 hours, and they'll do it. Like, they're like lethal, but at the same time, they just, dude, they'll just do whatever is asked of them. Your bargain basement infantry guys were also pretty good because they didn't have any ego that came with them. They were like, hey, this is all right, whatever, man. You want me to stand here and look at this? I'll do that. I would say you got to have the guy that's got the brain. And we didn't have a lot of officers, but I think if you could get some young junior military officers to be like running a team, and then you get like 2 or 3 SF guys, a couple of Navy SEALs, a couple of Rangers, and like 4 recon guys, and then 1 just fucking psycho, dude. You got to have your 1 psycho. You just do. I hate to say it, but like, dude, even on the QRF,
the guy that's wearing a necklace of ears.
Yeah.
And he's going through a divorce at the same time. So he's
100%. He's there to pay child support, dude. Like, that's his whole gig. And dude, like, even on the QRF, we had one guy, like, we got a lot of trigger time, but we had one guy that we were just like, oh, bro, like, I just saw that car fly off the elevated highway, Dukes of Hazzard style. What happened? He's like, they were driving up on us pretty quick, so I just unloaded 100 rounds of 240 Bravo into them.
Jeez.
It was a short burst.
Yeah, he's like, just a quick, get the machine guns talking. Like I mean, there were some, I would say for as many psychos that we had, there was as many pacifists, right? The guys that were just like, we had one guy just before I got there. I think he was a former Ranger, older dude. They started taking indirect fire at one of the embassies that they went to, and he was in the car. And everybody's like, we don't have any cover to go to. At least get in the armored Suburban. And the guy locked all the doors, and they're like pounding on the window. Oh, bro, let me in. And he's like, oh. So he was in the head shed. He was the guy that handed out ammo after that. But yeah, dude, like for every psycho, there was probably the same amount of people that would just like freeze up, and you're like, dude, how the hell did you get here?
I got a question for you, Morgan. So when you were over there, let's say the first 6 month stint you did over there, how many active military units did you guys run into? So I understand you guys. I mean, I know it's a lot, but what I'm asking is how did the active guys treat y'all as you came through? Usually, you guys were running quicker on your missions that you were doing, from my understanding. Okay, I've never done it. I was in during peacetime, during the late 90s. I got out just before the towers got hit. But what were the active guys' MO treating you as you guys came through? Was it respect, or was it let these guys go through because holy shit, we don't want the magnification? I mean, how was that?
This is a lot. There's a lot that goes into this. So like the guys on the base all thought that we were like CAG, right? Because we got our beards, we got long hair, we're wearing our hats. And we're flying in Little Bird helicopters.
Yeah. Can you explain to people what CAG is?
The CAG is like the Army Special Forces, special, super duper special forces. Like they're the next step up from SF and the Army side, or Dev Gru is SEAL Team 6. So everybody thought that we were out there like hunting bad guys. And I remember I had to go. We had to protect. John Bolton. It was John Bolton. I always get him mixed up because so John Bolton is like the ambassador to the UN or something. And I thought it was Michael Bolton. Like we were protecting the saxophone player.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And we get over there and I was like, where's the saxophone? Like, where's the USO tour? Like, what's going on? And they were like, no, it's John Bolton. He's very important and stuff. But dude, I'm hungover as heck, and I fly into these little birds, and this I think it was an E3, was like, "Hey, how's the hunting?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm too hungover for this right now. Do you have Gatorade?" And he's like, "Yeah, I get it. Like, how's the hunting?" And I was like, "I protect diplomats. I'm here to protect a saxophone player, man. And like last night was pretty rough." And he's like, "But how's the hunting?" And I was like, "Dude, it's good. The hunting is fine. It's great. We love to hunt. It's amazing." Yeah, there.
Yeah.
Weird enough. There's a story about both of them together.
Yeah.
One has a strong mustache, one does not.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was pretty sure it was the saxophone player, but so those guys were like it was like this weird hero
operator in his off time.
Yeah. This is a song, Captain Morgan. I'm like,
hell yeah.
So those guys were good. The actual like infantry units, they hated us because we didn't coordinate with anybody. It was like, you get from point A to point B with this guy. I don't care where the army is. It doesn't matter to me. And look, dude, like I said, we did stuff violently. So if we went and ran a couple of cars off the road, or we shot a car, all those guys see is, hey, there was a Humvee, it was shooting at us, and they'd be pissed off at the army. So there is some credence in the military not liking private contractors because we made life harder for them. We just absolutely did. And then when you'd roll up on them, some of them were pretty cool. But I remember, dude, it was like probably my third run. We come out of the green zone and we take a left because you want to miss Haifa Street. Haifa Street's where all the Iranian IRGC guys were. They were building EFPs, and we're like, we just let them have that street, okay? And I was like, oh, that's going to work out good for us. Yeah. Still, 23 years later, it was working out great. So I took a left, and then you got to take a right so that we could start going north. And there's kid in the back of a Humvee with a 240 Bravo, and he's standing up in it. And the 240 Bravo is just like on a little pole. And I was like, I'm driving the vehicle. We got the VS-17 panel. You know that we're Americans. I am white, dude. I'm like the whitest guy ever. And I'm like, we'll go around you. And he's like, which means stop. If you've ever been in the Middle East, this means stop. It also it's what it's how Italian women tell you about stuff. Yeah. But it also means stop. It's the pasta. It's stop.
Yeah. Like the prairie dogs where I was at, they didn't do that. So yeah.
So the guy tells me to stop. I start trying to squeeze around him. He takes a 240 Bravo and goes, points it right at me. And I was like, that armor's not going to stop that 240 Bravo. So I think we'll just wait it out for you guys.
Universal language.
Yeah. And then, dude, the military brass hated our guts because we just made fun of them all the time.
Right.
You're not in the chain.
I was walking into the U.S. Embassy, and I think Iraq won a soccer game or something. Who knows? But there's all these tracers in the air, and you guys know it's like a tracer is 3-to-1, 4-to-1, depending on how you have it set up. Right. And I'm just walking to go get some food, and this lieutenant colonel sitting there, and he's got his body armor on and his helmet. He looks like freaking Super Mario turtle, like all turtled in. And he's like, "Where's your armor, son? It's raining lead out here." And I looked up.
Like it's a fucking movie.
Yeah. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, what did he say? He said something like, "It's kind of crazy that they're shooting at us and we're just standing here watching it." And dude, I just laughed in his face. And I was like, "Whatever, dude." And I walked past, and he was like, I don't think he'd been called dude in a long time. Yeah. He was not ready for that.
Oh my God. You must have played that up every chance you got. Yeah. I would have. I would have. I'm like, whatever you say, chief. It's captain. Fuck ever. Whatever you say, fella.
I'm a colonel. I'm a GS-15E if you want to get all snooty with me. All right, bro.
Right? Oh man. The money difference is the amazing thing. Okay. So
honestly, I'd like kind of to get back to it. It really depended on the unit, right? But I will say, when I went back as an Army intelligence officer, huge mistake. I shouldn't have joined the Army after Blackwater. But they sent me to
Army after the Air Force.
Oh, well, I'll tell you in just a second. But I walked into our chow hall at this tiny JSS, which is where Saddam Hussein got hanged. Literally the same JSS that we used to take evidence for the hanging of Saddam Hussein and Kim Ali. And I'm up there making a third of the money as a second or as a first lieutenant, and I'm pissed off all the time. And I walk in the chow hall, and there's all these PMCs, and I was like, "Well, nice of them to let us know they're in our AO." Like, ugh. And then I was like, "Oh, that was me."
Yeah,
never mind. You guys are fine.
Did you forget where you came from?
Yeah, I was like,
that's funny. So for any of the cops watching this and wondering, like, should I ever leave policing to go and do the contracting overseas? Like, what would you tell them?
So I got a buddy, he's a cop, and he had a really cool department where they would say, "Okay, you can go do 3 months," and he'd give him like a leave of absence. He'd go do 3 months. He'd come back. He did that for years. Like it was like 3 months once a year. He was fine. His police department was cool with it. If that's what you're doing, that's the only way to do it. Because here's the thing is that the second that I left Iraq, there was no paycheck. There was no money. There was no nothing. There's no long-term benefits. There's no retirement. There's no nothing, man.
Just that's a straight cash gig.
Yeah. So like, and I tell people in the military the same thing. Like, if you're going to go over there and you're going to do it for 3 or 4 years to make enough money to either like retire or pay your house off, and you got something going on afterwards, go do it. But if you're just going over there being like, "Oh, the money's like," dude, it's like the dragon. It's like an addiction. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Well, that and the adrenaline's pretty fun too. It's like heroin. It's like, no, I say, like, dude, you're wanting it, man. But if you don't want to do it for like the next 10 to 15 years, don't start, because when you come home, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to get bored, because where are all your buddies at? They're overseas.
Still over there operating.
all your buddies are there. And then you come home and it's just you, right? It's not like you, like with the military, you go over as a unit, you come back as a unit. Like, that's not how it works. It's just you with your thoughts. And those are scary, dude. Believe me.
That and the contracts right now are a lot lower than what they were, meaning what everything costs now. They're much lower than what they were right after 9/11, correct?
Yeah, the money's not there. I think the contract now for the Baghdad gig is right around the same pay as it was for me, a little bit less. But if you did inflation adjustment, my contract was like $940 a day. and they're making 475, 500. So the money's not there, but dude, there's other contracts out there. When I was at Blackwater, my buddy's like, same guy that got me into Blackwater, like, dude, I heard about a contract in Africa running diamonds. It's $1,500 a day. Let's do it. And I was like, okay, there's a certain level of crazy that even I can't deal with. Running diamonds in Africa is there. Like you found it.
Yeah.
So, dude, I mean, there are contracts out there that'll pay you $1,000, $1,500 a day. But you're getting paid for how dangerous they are. And if you got kids, like if you're single, you're 23, 24, 25, go do it if you want. Nobody told me Blackwater was going to have the worst reputation on the planet and that I wouldn't be able to put it on my resume, or else I probably would have taken that into account too. But like there's a difference between, and I wrote an article about this, there's a difference between having to go back and wanting to go back. So if I had to do it over again, I would say, look, I want to have $200,000 in the bank. I want to have enough money on top of that to pay for college, and then I'm out. And then if I got to that goal, I'd be able to say, okay, I want to keep going back. Now me, I was like, don't worry, I need that Land Rover. I need to go blow all my money in Vegas. Like, let me blow all my cash. So dude, like I had to go back after my first contract. Right. So if you're just getting into the game, you got to set that goal. And if you don't set that goal
with your money too. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys, and I know you know it, I'm preaching to the choir, but for the people that are watching and don't understand about it, there's a lot of guys that got in it. They weren't used to that influx of money, and their family that was at home was getting that influx of money, and they started living within the means of the money that was coming in. And that's natural human nature. And that's what people need to understand is, so, okay, we're going to go get a platinum truck. We're going to get this. We're going to get a little bit bigger house. And then, you know, you're looking at a $1,600 mortgage payment, maybe a couple $1,500 vehicles. And it's like, where's this going at? And that was a lot of the dudes that got out of the military or they got recruited in law enforcement that went over there. It's this huge influx of money, and they immediately adjusted. And then you're still in the same spot that you were in before.
Yeah, and then your wife took your two kids and started hanging out with a guy named Jerry. Like, and now you're paying child support to Jerry that doesn't want to work. Like, dude, the horror stories are bad. Like, because when I got there, I think a lot of people made the assumption that it was tax-free, like the military, and it's not.
IRS.
So,
you got taxed on the money you made over there.
So it's weird. If you do 330 days out of 365, then your first 85,000, this was back when I was there. So your first 85,000 is tax-free. So then you're only paying on $120,000. Now, a lot of the guys didn't spend that time and then absolutely didn't pay Uncle Cheddar. So I know guys that are, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in debt because they did it for 10 or 15 years. And the IRS never forgets. It's like a military. It's like an ex-wife, dude. Never forgets. So those guys are still like, dude, there's guys in the game. They were at the Gaza contract. They were in the game when I was in 04, 05, and it's 21 years later. And they're like, yeah, I don't have anything going on. So, and I owe my ex-wife $70,000 million. Dude, it's crazy. But here's what I say. The people that decided to work for Blackwater back when I worked for them, it's not like we made the best life decisions before we got to Blackwater. And we sure as hell weren't making them after we got there. Like, let's be honest. Nobody's like, oh, I saw those guys get hanged off the bridge. That's a pretty cool job. We should try that.
We should go over there. Yeah.
And I think it was about, and regardless of the percentage, I say 80% of the dudes that went in there before the name change, obviously before the triple canopy, all the different name changes on there, they did that. I mean, they weren't used to that influx of money, and they live their life. I mean, they're go over there risking their life, asset protection, moving specialized people from one side of the country to the other, and you're doing this and that, man, and you're getting all this money influx in, and back home it's being spent.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, it's unfortunate. I know so many dudes. I'm connected to so many people on LinkedIn that are like, I did this, and this. 1 year I made $275,000 because I stayed over there. I did this. I did these other contracts. I was like, what do you got to show for it? They're like, I got a couple M16s in there, and I'm like,
it's like
it's like, holy shit, man, come on. I mean,
I got a Harley.
Yeah, or Harley. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you're not used to that. You were never prepared. And I think, hindsight, looking back at that, if we could have done some financial preparing during that training and evaluation stage to see if you're going to be sent over, I think we could have done that, man, just to help our guys and gals that were going over there and doing this.
I mean, shit, look at a fucking E1 today. They get done with boot camp and they get to their base, and the first thing they do is like, I'm gonna go get me a brand new charger. I'm gonna go get me a brand new.
And look at the APRs. Look at the APRs that these used new places are doing on them. I know some guys that are in right now, just E5, E6 that I connect with on LinkedIn, dude. They're at 17 to 20% on an APR note.
Yeah.
And look at what they're paying on that. I mean, it's just, holy shit, dude. What are you doing? Did I do the same mistakes? I absolutely did. But now I'm trying to teach guys that are out there, hey, don't do this. Don't do what I did when I was a young guy in the Marine Corps. I screwed it big time, you know.
We blow through it, and I know cops. They're 21. They turn 21 during the academy. They literally still live at home with their parents. Like, that's the thing. They get done with the police academy, and now they're making more money than they've ever made.
Right.
And same shit. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, they show up and they've got, a brand new motorcycle and a brand new car, and I'm like, what? Well, I live at home with mom. I don't have all that. And I'm like, dude, you got to start saving this money.
Well, that's where the school systems, I don't even need to segue on this, but that's where the school systems, the public school system is failing us. We have got to get more in the financial, holy shit, man. If you go this, and this, do this with your money. Don't live above your means. I would have loved to have something like that 18 to 21 years old. Do this and this and this. And my dad was trying to preach it to me, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to go to the club. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. What do you have to show for it after 2 weeks? No, you're waiting 3 days before your payday, eating ramen noodles, waiting for that payday to kick in, and then boom, you're a king. And then it's gone. And it's like, and the cops and military and contractors are the fucking same. And if you say they're not, you're bullshitting.
Yeah, Morgan doesn't know your first wife.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm surprised he doesn't. I thought everybody did.
He was like the poster boy for the Marine story.
Well, let me just give this one real quick.
Okay.
So I was at Kings Bay Naval Sub Base, and I've got 3 or 4 guys that are listening right now that were probably out there for this speech. But our Master Gunnery Sergeant E9, okay, you can either do Sergeant Major or Master Guns. He was Master Guns. He's from Louisiana, great dude. I'm not going to say his name, but he brought me out there, and he's like, at that time I think it was Lance Corporal Sweatland got married over the weekend, and we want to congratulate him. And there's 335 Marines out here right now, and all 335 would sleep with this woman on a weekend, but this is the dumb motherfucker that decided to marry her. And it's mistakes. And I 100%, I eat that. I'm writing a couple books right now. I 100% own that, and it's, she saw me, she swooped me up. She saw the little tiny bit of money that I was making. And I even did I was doing what's called Culligan Water Service on the weekends to even make more money, thinking that would make the relationship better. I did full-time Marine Corps, and I was doing that on the side to even make more money. It was absolutely ridiculous. And we get into these soirees, if you will, of making money and spending money, and there's nothing to show for it. And I wish the financial stuff, even the little financial classes they have in the military and DOD and the contractor, I understand right now from what I'm telling from the guys that are just getting into it, there is some financial stuff that they're covering, but it's very little. We've got to take care of our money, man.
That's true. And I mean, to Blackwater's credit, they did bring a financial advisor in, and I actually took advantage of it. And I had this guy as my financial advisor. We set up some IRAs. I didn't even know what that was. I was like, IRA, isn't that the Irish people? They
Irish, yeah.
Like, I don't know what that means. But you're accurate. Like a lot of those guys, even me, you get in there, you get that money, and it's like, okay, I risked my life for this. And there's like almost this desire, this need to want to go and spend it as fast as you can. And then you're like, oh, I can make it. Thankfully, like my second contract, I kind of unscrewed myself. But it got pretty lean for, when I was finishing up college, it got pretty lean there when I hadn't had a paycheck in like 2.5 years. And I had like a, National Guard GI Bill that was $780 a month. I was like, that doesn't pay my rent.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. The ones, what was the nicknames that they gave the girls that wanted to marry a military guy? It was like a triceratops, I think.
No, it was the Dependopotamus.
Yeah, Dependopotamus. That was another one. Or the Dependas.
Here's how stupid Banning was. Okay. So I just turned 19, got through all my training in Quantico, went down, got stationed in Kings Bay, Georgia, and got married. I was her third husband, and she was 2 days older than me. If that wasn't a red flag, and then she's like, "Hey, come out, come with me down here to Jacksonville, Florida, because there's a boat coming, and I'm going to tell my next fiance that you're the one. It's not him." And I'm like, "Oh, baby, I feel special." We live, laugh, and learn on these things, man. And I look back at my younger self, and I'm like, "Holy shit, you are a friggin' retard." Because of I'm talking about Marine Corps stuff. It's the Marine Corps way. And the Marine Corps at the time was not teaching any type of financial stuff at all. I mean, we got very low pay on the enlisted side, and that was on me. I decided to go enlisted. My father was on the O side, and he was in the Air Force. He did the right things in life. He was a flyboy, did amazing things. F4, F-16, A-7D. Guy got to fly a whole bunch of things, but me, I decided to go enlisted, and I did not listen to any type of financial planning, the very little that I heard, and I went out there and I thought I knew everything, and when I got out of the military, I had nothing.
Yeah. Shout out to a donut shop. He's in the house. He's saying, "Yo, Morgan and the boys." What's up, brother?
We gotta have a three-way one time, but not kinky, just like extra kinky.
Depends on how much they want to pay in the chat. I mean, you guys pay some money in the chat. There's no shame in our game. So, okay, this question was shot in, and people want to know. You kind of touched on it earlier, but like, what gear were you carrying when you first started versus the gear that you earned your way up, like when you were at your peak operating?
Dude, the gear that they gave us was absolute garbage. I mean, it was trash. It was whatever the State Department made them do. So you had a plate carrier group. They had a plate in the front, plate in the back, and then it was just like a bandolier essentially that went in the front where you keep your magazines. So I think it could hold 10, but one was for a radio, so you'd hold 8. There's some early pictures of me that actually has that one on it. And then this guy, this is the beauty of working overseas, is this guy like upgraded his stuff. He's got all junk drunk and was like, "I need that new $800 kit." So I looked at him and was like, "Dude, that kit that you're wearing right there, that looks tasty. I'll give you $50 for it." And the guy's like, "Done." So
really?
Yeah. I had like a Nighthawk. I had a Nighthawk vest. It would do 12. It would do 12 mags. One was for a radio, so I could rock 10. And then one of those pouches had to have Pop-Tarts in it for when you're hungover. Pop-Tarts are like, I don't know, a superfood, so you gotta have a little Pop-Tart pouch. But dude, the gear that they would give us, like it just wasn't functional depending on what you were in, right? Because when you're in a Suburban and you got all that kit on, and the Suburban's smaller, like it gets smaller and smaller the more armor you put on it. So I ended up just taking something off of like a 3-day assault pack with like a little bungee, and I sewed it onto my Nighthawk gear, and then I would hang my rifle down off of that for my right hand, and then it would make it really easy to transition right to left if I had to pull my 9mm. Safariland drop leg holster was like my gig, because when you're sitting there in a vehicle, having something on your hip just kind of sucks.
Yeah, you jam,
especially without that gear
sitting on the side.
Yeah. So it would allow me to like rotate it over to the top of my thigh, so when I was driving, and then when I would stand up, I could rotate it back. So, but it was pretty. Like I'm a basic bitch, man. Ooh, I do have.
Nope, don't show it. Don't show it. Yeah, okay. It's just a site. Okay. Just making sure. You got to be careful when we're on live streams, because you can't show certain things.
No, it's like one of the original Seymour sites. This was the only thing I spent money on. It was like $550, and it got an open reticle, so you could keep both eyes open. Like with the ACOGs, you gotta squint your eye like a pirate. So the Seymour site was the only thing I really spent cash on. But dude, and the gear was all over the place, right? We had like the dragon, what they call it, the dragon skin gear that had like little pieces of metal that overlapped like dragon skin. Turns out
it looked like scales.
Yeah, and people kept dying in it, so they got sued, and now they're out of business.
Really?
Yeah, it was not very good, but it cost you, it puts you $3,000-$4,000 back. So I do like for me, I'm just like a basic guy, and we had guys that would like drive around with tourniquets on their arms and on their legs. They had a lot more to live for than I did, apparently. Like, come on, dude! Like you look like a dipstick. Like that's why you have tourniquets. The other thing, everybody would have their blowout kit on their back right, so that like, because your blowout kit's not for you. Your blowout kit's not for somebody else. It's for you.
Right.
So when you're laying there bleeding, like everybody needed to have their blowout kit in the exact same spot so that we could grab it. We knew where it was.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, it was like I was pretty basic. There was nothing crazy. Then 249, I never did the 240, but I always had the 249 with like the 100-round drum that's made of mesh, so you could just touch it. They called it the nutsack. It was great.
You're talking about the saw, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And just so our listeners have no clue what we're talking about, it's a squad operated weapon. This is something that we got to touch and play with and deploy in the Marine Corps. It was a pretty fantastic weapon, man, as long as it was cleaned well. And so it's good stuff, man.
I give a shout out to Harrison. Harrison just dropped 10 memberships to our peeps. Thank you very much, Harrison. Looks like the Living Dead got one. I think she was in here chatting, and I'm looking to see if there's any. I thought I saw another name. Show me Audit's got one. He's always in here chit chatting. So shout out to him. And then Rumble got himself one. I saw Donut seems to know Rumble, so apparently they're boys. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate it. Any of the money you guys donate to the page, it goes into the show. It doesn't go into me and Banning's pockets, I promise. We ain't at that level. So
definitely not.
Yeah, it's not. One day we'll be able to pay the mods that help us out of the kindness of their hearts. So
100%.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. You did mention something earlier, Morgan, that I know a lot of our listeners are going to love. You mentioned having a Marine on the team, if you could make your perfect team. And a lot of our guys are Marines. One of our mods is former Marine, Marine blood. Then we got Mr. Billfold, also prior Marine. What do you guys call yourselves? Former a Marine? I don't know.
Former. You have no former. Oh yeah, no, you still have to be a Marine guy.
Yeah, they don't like to say
not ex.
Not ex-Marine.
I catch myself because in the late 90s, early 2000s, they're like, it's okay to say former. I'm like, okay, cool, it's former, because you're not actively enlisted at the time. But now it's just like once a Marine, always a Marine. I'm like, motherfucker, I am damn near 300 pounds, a little over 6 feet tall. I'm definitely not fit for duty right now. So I was former. Right. They're like, oh, former Marine, and it is what it is, man.
Yeah. Harrison said, so I'd be paying myself because he helps mod. Yeah. He's right. I'm pretty sure the mods can see about how much we make a month on here. It doesn't even cover the bills. No. So I probably drop about, I don't know, almost 1,300 a month on this show.
Jesus.
I know.
He does.
Yeah. I do. I put a lot of money into this fucking thing. Hey, maybe one day it will pay itself. We'll see. Every once in a while it does all right. So okay. Next question. So we got through the gear. Somebody sent this one in. Did you ever have a moment where you thought, I'm probably not gonna make it home over there?
Oh yeah, dude. So I died in my mind probably more than I was ever in danger, to be honest with you. Like the flight into Baghdad, you come in from Jordan, we're in this little Casa Bird, which is it's a cargo jet. But if you've ever seen people that are like jumping out of planes and stuff, like a lot of those are Casas. And they take you up to elevation, and then they don't tell you anything, and they just start corkscrewing in, man, like as fast and as hard as possible. There's video of it that I gotta find somewhere, but I thought we were burning in. Like I thought we were dead. Like that's
Really?
how fast and how violent they started corkscrewing in. And then they leveled off, and we got there, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I
Is it
wasn't.
just to avoid anti-aircraft stuff?
Yeah, so if you come in straight, man, you're a tasty target for like an RPG. Like they know your path. If you corkscrew in, they don't know your path until you're finally like almost right at the like tarmac, and then you level out and you land. So that was the first time I thought I was going to die. I would say like a month later, we did this flight up to Erbil. So I get on a Black Hawk. Never been on a Black Hawk before, right? I'm an Air Force guy. And
That's not what I heard.
we fly up. We fly up. Oh well, I do love it. So we start rising up over Baghdad, and it starts shooting flares. And I was like, "Oh, dude, we're getting targeted. We're gone, dude." I'm like, "Oh my god, And then we just fly off, and I was like, "What the heck just happened there, man?" So it turns out that when you fly over the burn pit, which is like half of Baghdad, it causes the flares to think that they're being that you're being attacked, and it starts shooting flares.
Is it the heat signature of it or something?
I don't know if it's the heat or the smoke, but I talked to a pilot over there, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, every time we flew over that thing, we'd shoot out like $70,000 worth of flares. So your dollars at work." And then like we would get mortared every day. The first time that they got close, like a mortar hits, and we're sitting in our little tent. Like I think it was like day 2. We're sitting in our little tent, and one hits, and we're like, "Oh, okay, so, that wasn't too bad." The second one hits, and like everybody sits up in their bed and starts looking around. And all I'm thinking is, dude, you can't be the first one that runs out. You just can't. You can't be that guy. The third one hits, shakes the tent, like you can feel the percussion, like kind of mush your guts, and it was close. And this guy like leaps off his bed and runs out the tent to like the bunker, and everybody's like, "Pussy," and then we all ran after him because you just didn't want to be the first one, man. But the thing is that I just didn't live like that, right? I didn't live thinking, "Oh, this could have happened." You know, we got shot at, but it wasn't like they were shooting at Morgan. It just wasn't one of those things where like I took it personal. So you could be driving on a route one day, and then the next day a car bomb blows up and it took out something, or we got hit by an IED or an EFP in Ramadi. Like it was just such luck of the draw. And I guess I'm lucky that I just never really thought about it like that.
Yeah. I remember them in training. They were, because we had some pre-deployment training stuff where we never ended up going anywhere, but they were talking about this one particular IED that would be like some sort of liquid metal, and it would go through the MRAPs, and then it would fuck you up inside. There's nothing you could do about it. And they talked about it all the time, and I was terrified of that particular way to go because you're stuck in a coffin.
So I'll explain it to the folks out there. So you put explosives in something like this. It could be this small. And what you do is on the front of it, you put copper. You put like a malleable metal on the front. So your explosives on the back, this whole area of explosives, what it does is it takes that piece of copper and it pushes it out through the middle, and it forms a projectile, or like a bullet essentially. And it's going so fast and it's so hot that it'll go through any armor that you have. So yeah, the EFPs, that's what the Iranians were doing on Haifa Street. And they're terrifying, don't get me wrong. But if I sat there and I worried about every time I drove past like a piece of garbage that it was an EFP, like I wouldn't have made it, man.
Yeah. That's why listen, guys, everybody out there listening, I say this in law enforcement. You got guys that are geared for SWAT like that. They have the mentality for that. I don't have it. Young me, in my early 20s, probably thought I had it. But I didn't do it, so I can't say for sure. I would have done it. I tried it at least. And I might have got there and said, you know what, this ain't it. But you need guys that have that mindset. Just like you said, you need psychos. You got to have the guys that want to do that stuff, because the ones that are there, like especially in SWAT, that are just there for the tab to say the rocker, to say SWAT, like that's not the guy. You need somebody that's about the team. And being just a part of the team and not so much about saying that they're SWAT. And that goes for a lot of stuff. So you're right. if you worried about that shit, probably not the job for you. Me personally, I would have been fucking freaked out about that in the camel spiders. So
those were the worst. I'll be honest with you. Those are they're just menaces, man.
They look like aliens.
So we found out in Oman, they had a bunch of camel spiders. They'll chase you, and you're like, dude, why is this thing chasing you? Well, it's not actually chasing you. It's trying to stay in your shadow.
Yeah.
And as you move, it's like, there goes my shadow. My nice, cool shadow. I'm going after it. So you're like running away from this camel spider. It's like this big. You could probably stomp on it. And you're like, it's coming at me, bro.
Right. Yeah, fuck. I would have ran. No, thank you. And it turns out they're not even actually spiders. There's something else, but yeah, they're still freaky looking. I don't know if anybody.
They are terrifying looking.
Yeah. And then, so were you ever a part of any of the animal cage fighting over there that I heard so much about? I heard they put like scorpions and camel spiders against each other. Y'all are over there betting and shit.
Dude, it's not that fun. So yes, that's the short answer. I'm like the guy that's admitting to watching cockfighting right now. So we had this tank in Oman, and I think it was the 5th deadliest venomous snake. There was 2 of them that were in this big tank. It's like 50-gallon tank.
In the world?
Yeah. So who knows who picked these up? But you could walk into this little headquarters area. It's like a 50-gallon tank. They got the snake, and we'd bring in camel spiders, and they'd have like the big, huge scorpions, and we'd drop a camel spider in there. We'd be like, "It's on, dude! It's on, ooh, dude!" And the camel spiders like coming up on it, trying to figure out what's going on, and the scorpions just sitting there. They don't care, dude. The camel spider, we're like, dude, it's going to jump. It's going to happen any second, and it gets too close, and the scorpion goes, thunk. Done, dude.
Game over.
Yeah, it was like so anticlimactic. It was like, dude, that's boring.
Well, I mean, you were over there pre-cell phone, like smartphone, right?
Oh yeah.
So, imagine going over there today. It probably wouldn't be nearly as bad with all the tech.
Skype had just come out, so that helped. A little bit. Skype. There was Vonage had come out, but we didn't have enough internet to be able to really use it very often. So I still had like the cell phone that I bought the little cards for, and if you called past like 9 p.m., it was only like 40 cents a minute instead of like $3 per minute. Right. So, but yeah, when I got back in 2009, Skype was available. Skype was like pretty easy to get. So it is a lot better keeping like close to your family. That said, like, dude, you try to get bandwidth in a military base with a bunch of young GIs is not the easiest thing to do because
they're all just trying to look at porn.
Yeah, they are just all on whatever site they can get on.
Yeah, I can't even remember what they used to be back then. Okay, so somebody sent in with such a weird request. I like giving our listeners the chance to throw their questions up here and stuff. So one that I got in a private message off of TikTok says they want a lightning round. Okay, so I'm going to ask you these questions and you just answer them as fast as you can.
All right.
Okay. All right. Favorite rifle?
Oh, M4. You shoot what you're used to.
Okay. Best piece of gear you've ever carried?
Definitely the Seymour sight that I had.
Okay. Worst piece of gear?
Oh, worst piece of gear.
Uh-oh.
Dude,
Some brands.
Yeah,
listening.
Dude, the gear back between 04 and 09 was so much different. Like if I look at the gear that I had in 04, it was pretty good. When I went back in 09, like that stuff was just on a whole different level. So pretty much anything, the LBVs that they gave you in security forces, I took that into the ground offensive. Worst piece of gear ever. Just absolute trash.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Most overrated tactical trend.
CQB by far, dude. Like,
yeah.
Like, dude, who are you really gonna go into a building and be like, I better pie off this door? Oh, you're just gonna go in and be like, hey, you got some pie?
All right. You kind of already answered this one earlier. Better driver, cop or military?
Yes, I would take cop over military.
This is my favorite question. Coffee or Rip It?
Oh, dude, I didn't drink either one of those when I was overseas, but I didn't drink coffee at all. I did have a few Rip-Its.
Okay.
You can buy them at like the dollar store now, dude. You can buy them at the dollar store. Yeah.
Worst.
They're good.
Worst and best MRE.
Best MRE is always Chili Mac. Worst was between the 5 Fingers of Death and the they had an omelet, like
the omelet. Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad.
That's what I was thinking too. Anything egg? No, thank you. What one movie gets the closest to Iraq in reality?
And I hate to say this, but the Hurt Locker got a hell of a lot closer than I thought it would.
Oh,
just the desire to want to go back, not necessarily like the actual, the guy that's like, I'm just going to take off all my gear and I'm going to undo this bomb. Like, but the mentality of like wanting to go back, that nailed it. The Chris Kyle movie was American Sniper.
Oh, American Sniper. Yeah.
Yeah. That some of that movie hit pretty good too.
Okay. And then the follow-up to that is what one got it completely wrong. Was there anyone that you watch and you're just like, this is so full of shit?
Oh, you know what was good? War was good. Is that the newest one? The Navy SEALs that got pinned down in Iraq during the ground offensive.
Was that the one where they're riding the fucking horses?
No, that was Afghanistan. It was it just came out like 7 or 8 months ago. And it's just these dudes in a building that got pinned down, and they're Navy SEAls.
I don't think
the name of it was.
I thought it was just like War or something like that.
No, look that up.
I usually watch every war movie. I did watch Spider-Man today, and it is the best Spider-Man that's ever been made, by the way. Just so you know.
It is good. The worst one, The Green Zone. I don't know if you guys remember that. It came out in like 2004.
Yes.
2005.
Yes.
You know what else was good? The Men Who Stare at Goats.
That
was actually pretty good. Talking about the contractors and everybody that was going into Iraq.
Right? Yeah.
George Clooney.
Yep. You're right. Okay. And then the last question is, one lesson from Iraq that still affects your life today.
Oh, I would say I'm a straight up mercenary. Like, and I learned that from Blackwater. If there's a job that's going to pay me more, that's going to I'm gone. Like there is no warfare. That's the name of the movie. There's like in corporate America is worse than the army. And at the end of the day, like they will discard you, go make your money. And if there's a better opportunity, make more money, get the hell out of there. Don't be like the boomers that are like, oh, I spent 47 years there and all they gave me was like a $10 gift certificate to Chili's. Oh, no.
Yeah, Belford said, you should see the shit they're making security forces wear now. I've seen it. They keep trying to issue it to me. I'm like, no, I'm only here for 30 days. Keep it. I don't need it. My gear is way better anyway. Okay. And then this is a question I came up with while we've been talking, but if you were to take 10 patrol officers and 10, we'll just go with security forces or infantry. I don't want to go with like the specialized unit, but if you were to take 10 of each and bring them into Blackwater back in 2004, who adapts faster and why?
So when you say patrol officer, what
I'm talking like city street patrol guy. Like let's take the elite. Let's go with the America's or what do they call themselves? The finest NYPD. Let's go with a city cop.
Security forces.
Yeah. Versus
100%.
Security forces?
I would, yeah, just because you know how hard it is to train people up on like a 249 and a 240 Bravo and like at least security forces gets like some infantry tactics and training and some of those other things. And those came in a lot more handy than a lot of the police officer stuff. So I'm not talking crap. Like, dude, in NYPD, let's be honest here, those guys aren't like run and gun. Now, if you said that like 5 people from New Orleans or like the Minneapolis guys. Like those guys were pretty easy to integrate. But dude, some of the guys come in and they're like, I was a cop in Cottonwood, Arizona, and I was like, oh, dude, you're not gonna make it. like big city cop is different than small town cop, man.
Yeah. So Wade sent a question. He said, Morgan, did you ever meet John McPhee?
It was, I mean, if he was a Blackwater guy, I mean, are you sure that's not like the guy that did the antivirus stuff? Was he that weirdo?
McAfee.
So this is a question I get all the time. Everybody had a handle, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, what's your name?" And they're like, "I'm Goose Fart." And you're like, dude, dude, I never understood because I hated like talking in code. These things are literally encrypted to the highest level. We don't have to worry about them getting our names. People are like, there's a bounty on Blackwater right now that's like $25,000. So if they get your name, they'll talk to your family. And I was like, who cares, dude? If they
use your gamer tag.
Yeah, well, dude, I was just like, I'm Morgan. So they tried to give me like Murdoch and all these other, and I was like, dude, I'm not going to answer to it.
From the A team.
Yeah, I finally told them like, yeah, you can call me like Master and Commander if you want to really get a hold of me on the radio, or just call me Morgan. Like this is how stupid I thought it was. Rebel without a cause.
I would have called you Dexter.
Yeah, so it depends on their call sign. It depends on where they were. So like in 04, most 05 was in Baghdad. Late 05, I was in Kirkuk. So it really just depends. The sheriff of Baghdad, I did not meet that guy. That guy's like, I was running super secret single man missions, and I was like, that's a lie.
Oh, he was on Rogan. Yeah.
Right.
That dude was psycho. That's the kind of guy you're talking about.
Straight up needs meds.
Yeah.
He does jujitsu tournaments and stuff. Like,
dude, here's what I'll say. Jason Bourne doesn't exist, man. I worked with the best of the best, and there's nobody that goes out there by themselves without support in the military. It just doesn't happen. Like, I'm not saying the guy's lying, but dude, I'm having a hard time.
I don't want to be on a live and all of a sudden you just see eyes peek up from behind me and I'm out. So you never know how crazy some people are. So I'm not trying to get any of that smoke. KP Nation said, have any of you ran into stolen valor? If so, how do you deal with it? I've ran into it a few times. I just ignored it. I didn't do anything about it. I don't care. If that's what you want to do. But I don't know. Morgan, you ever run across it?
I don't take it as serious as some people. Some people get into the whole Blackwater stolen valor. Oh, you didn't work for real Blackwater. You were triple canopy. Oh no. Like, dude, who cares? Like, so like from that standpoint, I don't care. I do have a problem with some of the other authors. Like I wrote my book. I wrote every word of my book. I stand behind every word. I do have a problem with some authors that have ghostwriters that have like taken their story and tried to make it more sensational. I think that's usually what happens. It's not like the guy that's just sitting, unless you're Tim Kennedy and you're like, and then I threw 50 grenades into it. Like, dude, come on, you're full of crap. So, dude, I like for the most part, I don't care. But if I saw some dude in the airport that was trying to cut in the front of the line and he was all doinked up, I'd be like, all right, bro. You're like, now you're affecting me, bro.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. If they were affecting me and they had some, but then again, the other part of it is I don't have the perspective of a guy who went overseas, saw my brothers get killed or injured or any of that. I was fucking, sitting in CONUS and I didn't get to do anything fun.
Oh, dude, there's enough people out there that call out the stolen valor guys. You don't need another guy.
Yeah, I feel like an imposter as it is. That's one of for me, because I signed up to do something. I feel like I didn't do anything. I don't mean I had to go over there and shoot and kill people, but I helped the mission somehow. I just felt like I didn't help anything. I was here and guarded prairie dogs. Nobody stole a nuke on my watch. You're welcome.
Hey, there you
go. People are commenting, KP Nation and Wade Lucero, Don Shipley. Don Shipley wouldn't be able to pick me out of a lineup, but I met that dude in Vegas many years ago. Great guy. This dude is out there on a warpath with his wife, calling out Navy SEALs, man, fake Navy SEAls.
Oh, is that what he does?
Yeah, Don Shipley, dude. If you haven't seen his channel, I mean, it's entertaining.
I probably have. I just don't recognize them.
Oh my god, dude!
Which is funny.
Amazing,
dude. There's like 1,000 Navy SEAls out there, and I met all of them, all 8,000 of them, at a bar in San Diego in one weekend.
Love it.
Like, dude, there are so many people that want to claim that.
Dude, it's ridiculous. I mean, these dudes will go and get tattoos. One of my favorite ones is a dude out of, I believe it's Louisiana, from a Harley Davidson dealer, and he's out on some street that's really popular, and he's claiming Navy SEAL this and that. And Don Shipley and his wife and 2 other Navy SEAls came with him down to whatever. It's kind of like 6th Street in Austin. It's this big bar, and they go out, and this dude's wearing a biker vest, and he's got the trident, you know, what everybody knows that watches the movies. And Don Shipley's like, "What's your name and what BUD/S class did you go through?" And Don Shipley, just like any other Navy SEAL, legit guy, Eli Crane's a good friend of mine. He's a Navy SEAL, and he's a congressman out of Arizona now. And you have access to the BUD/S classes, and it's just simply the basic class that they go through, what number, who graduated from the class, who initiated the class. And, you know, it's obviously a lot lower number. And Don Shipley calls these people out because these people are getting free housing. They're getting discounts on whatever. They're getting hired at a job. It's disgusting. I mean, if you're, you know, and somebody that went through the Great Lakes and they do whatever through the Navy, and I'm not downgrading the Navy stuff, and then they don't make it or whatever, then they're coming out and they're claiming Navy SEAL. And they're getting employment. They're getting benefits from a private something for veterans because of they're claiming this, or they have a tattoo and they're claiming they were whatever mission. And dude, it's sick. And Don Shipley outs these guys, man. It's even awesome.
I love it.
We had a lot of guys at Blackwater, like it had to be looking back, but there's a lot of guys at Blackwater that were claiming this and that. One of them's doing 7 years in jail right now because I helped the FBI go through and it's not for stolen valor. He ended up saying he was a recon Marine, and then ended up getting hooked in with a billionaire, and this billionaire is doing security for him. He's like, dude, the CIA needs money, and I'm in the CIA. I didn't want to tell anybody this, but like, there's some hostages down in Colombia, and if you just give me like $750,000, I'm gonna go save them. So he was taking this guy's money and going and spending it in Miami.
The billionaire believed him?
Yeah, no, well, dude, but I mean, billionaires, like, I mean, and a lot of people, they don't know, like, they're not around the military. But I ended up getting a call from the FBI that was like, "Hey, this guy said he was in Afghanistan. He's got this picture, and somebody said you were in it." And I was like, "Dude, it's not me." And then I look at it and I was like, "Damn it, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for me to get on the stand and say that's not me."
Right.
So yeah, I helped the FBI go through and be like, "No, this guy's a liar." Like I didn't realize that he was fake Force Recon Marine, fake everything else. But like, yeah, his name is Matt Marshall. So screw that guy.
All right, I like it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your book.
Yeah.
You wrote a book. So that's your Air Force side coming out. You knew how to write. So.
I know. Yeah, sadly. No, dude, I kept telling people these stories and they were like, just write a book. And I was like, nobody's going to read this thing. But I sat down and just got pissed off, started writing stories. And then I sent it off to a guy that writes for the TV show SWAT and was like, dude, you got to publish this thing. So I got a publisher. It's been out for about 2 years now. It's called Guns, Girls, and Greed. And it's literally like every funny thing that happened along with the stuff that like rips your guts out and like the overall effect. Being there for 18 months, dude, I came back and I was just not right in the head. And kind of what that sequence of coming back is like in assimilating back into the military or into the civilian life. But yeah, dude, I mean, what has it got? It's got 4.4 stars on Amazon right now. It's on Barnes & Noble. The audio book was read by Jay Moore.
Jay Moore.
Yeah, the comedian. He was on Saturday Night Live. He was in Jerry Maguire. So he did the audio book, did a really good job. But look, if you want a real war book with real people that's really raw, like this is it. Like, you want to hear about my dysentery? I'm going to talk about dysentery. You want to hear how it feels like when your buddies burn in on a helicopter and they end up dying? I talk about it, dude. I talk about it all.
Okay, nice. So this is Jay Moore, for those wondering. I couldn't remember who the fuck he was. Now I remember. How did you get him? Just through the publisher? Or?
No, so he read my book. My buddy got him the book. He read it cover to cover. He's like, dude, I'll read this for you. Like, it's that funny. This is the funny. Yeah, he's like, this is.
I mean,
like,
dude, it makes sense because you and I, like, you guys don't know this, but we start texting each other on social and then through cell phone, and immediately are ripping it up together. Like, I was like, oh fuck, we're gonna get along just fine because he's got the same sense of humor I got. So, so much so that somebody decided to make a wonderful photo of us together.
Yeah.
I
didn't even use AI for this. I just flew out there.
Yeah, let me pull that up. Give me 1 second here. I gotta pull up the grams because that's where it's at. Somebody was joking around and got all serious. Shit.
Called me out.
I did call you out. Let me see here. I'm not the best at navigating while I'm on the live. So your Instagram handle is Blackwater Dude 1?
Blackwater Dude 1. It's funny, the Blackwater guys were like, oh, he calls himself the Blackwater Dude. And I was like, no, you're interpreting it wrong. When people say, who's Morgan? You say, oh, he's the Blackwater Dude.
The picture's gone.
Oh, dude.
Was it just on
it was a story.
It was a story. The time ran out. That's why. Okay. No worries. I wonder if it's saved on any. Damn, it didn't. Oh well. Here's what it is. But okay. Well, something else that we like to do on here, sir, is we like to kind of review some of the hot take reels that we put out that kind of have a subject and just kind of discuss them. And then we also like to look at a little body cam videos and kind of talk through them like as they're developing. So like, okay, here's what I'm seeing as an officer. It'd be kind of interesting to see yours as a special operator, and my TV's doing weird stuff.
I supported special forces.
Right. I mean, and IMSF, so I mean, I'm pretty much just tactical as they come. Okay, let me share the screen. So shit, that's not right. Yeah, that is the right one. Okay. So we are over here on our 2 Cops 1 Donut page. We're going to go over to the shorts. And I want to get the one that really pissed people off the most right away. So we're going to go with this one. Now, the background on this is they were doing a town hall meeting. City council was there, and people were voicing their opinions on them potentially putting a new data center in their town. I don't know what town it is, but I'm going to open this.
Is it possible to park in the wrong direction in a parking spot?
It didn't play the right one. All right, we're going to go to the individual one. 1 second. Somewhere. I hate when this stuff doesn't work the way it's supposed to. All right, this better fucking play it right this time. All right, y'all ready? Here we go. Here we go.
Man gets removed from a city hall meeting for clapping.
Table belongs to us. Thank you.
All right, next. Ask them to leave. Can I? Chief, will you take the next person out that claps or anything, please? Thank you.
To skip out on the taxes.
Next step on that road.
It was very clear at the beginning that each person is given their 2 minutes. And we're trying to be respectful of that. Snapping, clapping, any other rude comments or anything, we will ask you to leave. You've been finally warned and we're done.
What benefit from this is it seems like you guys And we're all remembering this come election. Do what's right.
All right, next on the route. Waving at us distracts us. So.
All right. So, yeah. So now here we got a town hall meeting where officers are used to remove people. So I don't know what y'all learned when you became cops or even in the military, but the Constitution's a pretty big thing. And you got First Amendment rights, especially when it comes to public forums like this. So I'm not going to give my opinion. Banning, what do you think?
Bottom line, if you have the First Amendment right to speak, speak. And whatever your opinion is, I mean, who cares if somebody claps? You're giving your opinion out there, period. But don't use law enforcement unless it's interrupting the microphone. I mean, that's the big thing. If somebody's doing something to interrupt somebody's speech pattern, remove that person temporarily until they understand. Allow people to do their right. So, period.
So there's a thing, and not even a lot of cops don't know this. I didn't know it until I really started doing this podcast, but there's a thing called Robert's Rules of Order. And it's basically what they're allowed to govern these meetings with. So there's certain things that you can talk about or rules that you can set up during these town hall meetings. And one of them is if somebody is a disruption. But the courts have made it clear that a disruption has to either be something physical or something that is interrupting their conduct. And clapping at the end of a speech, I would say, isn't interrupting anything. Morgan, what do you think?
I mean, I saw the Spider-Man movie, and at the end, people clapped, and I wanted to punch him in the face. So I don't know. I don't know if that matters. No, I mean, look, I will say in their defense, they were like, look, don't do it again. But then at the same time, they let everybody do it again. And then like the guys that were doing the hand thing.
Yeah.
Like they're like, that's also distracting. Like these are people that are on a power trip. And
yes,
that's the problem is that when you let these people get on that power trip, and then, I mean, as a police officer, I'm not one, but I'd be like, dude, I'm not kicking this guy out. Eat a fart, man.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of my point. That's what I wanted to get to is the officers were used as puppets. And unfortunately, you're responsible for your actions as a cop. I say unfortunately, that's not unfortunate. You should be held. I don't know why I said it that way. That's what happens when my brain goes faster than my mouth. But you got to be responsible for your actions. So if you remove them, ultimately, I think that is a violation of that person's rights. And now you should be stripped of your qualified immunity, as should be the city council member or mayor, whoever that was. And I did learn that the chief was in the room during this. Yeah. So now it's a cultural thing. And I understand there's some pressure there because that's your employer if you're not a sheriff. If you're a municipal cop and the chief's in there, well, the city council and the mayor is your boss.
Right.
In a sense. So, but at the same time, like you've got to be able to look at something and go, that didn't fall under any sort of disruption. And you lumped clapping with being rude. Yeah. It's got to fit in the context.
If you look at the bottom line, the people are your employer. Because if you don't have the people.
What would they have done if everybody, after she tried to say that bullshit, stood up and clapped? Like I saw that in the comments. Everybody was saying like they should have all stood up and clapped.
Oh, dude, they should have done the slow clap.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, there's nothing they're gonna arrest us all. You know, it's like the I Am Spartacus. So that video, man, it blew up. I think it had like 30,000 views within 24 hours. It was like people really liked that, pissed a lot of people off. As it should. So now the question is, like, us as cops, when we see that, like, what Banning, what are you going to tell a rookie officer? Well, imagine, if that's a bunch of rookie cops that are in there.
Here's the deal: municipal or county, because I've worked both. You have to allow them to do whatever their rights express. If they cross upon that line, if I'm their supervisor, I'm the one that's dealing as a supervisor. I may not be up there, but I'm the one that's doing the blockade. Hey, here's the deal. This person is exercising their rights. You're going to have to go through me before you go to the officer that you want to remove the person or the deputy. And I wasn't a popular person because we've done the open town hall stuff, municipal and on the county side. And it's, no, just because a commissioner or a city council, commissioner being county, city council being municipal or city, and they're like, remove this person. I'm like, what law did they violate?
Yeah.
You want to remove them, come down here and remove them. But this is an open forum to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Allow the public to speak. If you don't have the public, you have nothing. If you can't allow the public to speak, I'm sorry, you have nothing. And that's why I was not a friend to a lot of people, because you have to allow the public to speak. They're the ones that this is their community. If they're gathering together to do something, allow them to speak. That's their right.
Yeah. Guys, if you're on Instagram or TikTok and you're in the messaging, it's harder for me to keep up with that because all the rest of them are in YouTube on this user interface that we have. But I do see there's a comment from Instagram that caught my eye, and his name is Steve Card, and Steve says, I used to work with Morgan. I am retired LE from a municipal PD. I worked in a insanely liberal city. They allow liberal activists to do whatever they want. So I don't know if you know that name.
I do. He's a great dude.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the type of cop where I'm glad guys like you are out there, not the guys that I used to pick on in high school.
So one thing that, the little twist on this whole video is the guy that was clapping, he's a teacher, a high school teacher of some sort, I think is what it was. And then the person he was clapping for was his wife. So I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? So yeah, my opinion, officers, you can't do that. You can't violate somebody's rights like that.
Yeah, but to what Banning was saying earlier, I think that's something that if you know it's going to be a hot button topic, and data centers are, it's probably best to get your officers together beforehand and say, by the way, if this happens, this is what you do.
And the council, let the city council know, we're not your puppets.
Yeah.
It better be egregious and it better be clear. It can't be any of this gray area stuff. And that wasn't even gray area to me. That's a no brainer.
Yep.
You were looking for anything you could to keep the opposite opinion out of there. You were absolutely trying to control speech in that. So yeah, I agree. I think that's the game plan. That's how we improve. Any law enforcement out there watching, make sure you're game planning, because what is it? 90% of the departments out there, 10 or less officers. Hey, don't quote me on that percentage, but it's very low. There's not that many big departments. A lot of them are small. So
if you look at the data center stuff, and I'm not getting political on this, the rural areas of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, New Mexico, these data centers are going into rural areas. These big counties that have low populations, and my inbox is inundated with this stuff. It's like, how can you stand idle sitting in a county on this and this and this? I don't know enough factual data to go up there and stand at a microphone. If I did, I would. But they do. It happens, and some are getting arrested for BS stuff. That I can't even speak on that because I don't know. But these data centers are going in a lot of places, and there's tax this and tax that. I don't know enough information to come up here and be a qualified person to speak on that.
Yeah. Rumble said they want to lord over their subjects like they're some sort of king and queen. They need to remember that who they work for, and that they will collect their blood money and move someplace with no data centers.
Right.
Yeah, not wrong. Okay, so let's move on. I think we've eaten up that subject. Let's move on to the next video. I got it queued up this time, so hopefully it works properly. So this one is let me get the comment off of there. Morgan, there's in law enforcement, something we like to tell the rookies, at least where I'm at, is like, don't get dependent on your Batman belt. You need to be able to go hands-on. Okay. It's important because if you do get dependent on your toys, get dependent on that Batman belt, things like this can happen. So let me hit play here.
It's a valuable lesson on distance.
All right. So, backstory is there was it's a bar scene, entertainment district, whatever you want to call it. Fights broke out. That's why they have so many officers out there anyway. That's just typical. I actually was a field sergeant in one of those areas, so I understand this stuff better than most. And the officers were trying to break up a fight. You saw there was a lady that was unconscious. It ended up being that kid's mom, I think, or somebody that was close to him. And you see the officer using the new Taser 10 for any of those that know about that. It has 10 shots and it shoots individual rounds. Did you ever seen one of those, Morgan?
No. It sounds awesome. I would let you shoot me with one.
Yeah. Come out. I will absolutely make that happen. So, but yeah, it shoots 10 probes, individual shots. So when you fire, you're intentionally trying to make your spread instead of depending on two of them shooting out at the same time and getting lucky.
Like the old first gen X-26.
Yeah. So this officer is, you can see him. Dude takes a fighting stance. He's giving you all the indicators. And he's so close already. I wouldn't. You had 4 officers right there. I would have move in. Somebody be in front of him to distract him, and the rest of them guys should have swarmed him. A little communication would have went a long way, but he decided to go with the taser, which I'm okay with. Like, the dude was squared up. He's ready to go, but it didn't work, and he stuck with it instead of abandoning it and protecting himself. That's how I saw that. You guys got a different take. Morgan, you go first.
No, I mean, look, people don't realize how quick it is to close the distance. If you've ever been in like wrestling or jujitsu or any of those things, you don't realize until you get into it. It's like 5 feet is not. That's a step in a lunge. It's nothing. So you either got to do one of two things. You either got to go hot, or you got to back off. And he did neither. He was like, I got this, bro. So he's like the middle-aged lady with her mace. It's not gonna work most of the time, dude.
Right. What do you got, Banning?
I don't have anything on that. I mean, you're that close. You have to act now or pray that your write-up's not bad because you get knocked out. And it's unfortunate, but you have to. And I've been unfortunately in some of these scenarios to where if you don't act right then, eliminate that threat, you're going to be on TikTok or whatever these reels are. I mean,
Fortunately, I mean, I like to see the bright side of everything, and I bet all 3 of us can account for those hard lessons we've learned where we've gotten our bell rung. I've learned from all of those instances. So the positive that I look at this is, assuming his jaw didn't snap, he's going to come back and he'll be a hopefully safer officer in the future because of what he went through. Like, and he's not going to be depending on that taser or the pepper spray or the baton. He's going to lean on trying to get better close-up training. I think grappling is the number one thing that cops should be learning when it comes to anything, more than their firearm, more than the other toys that are on their belt, more than driving. Because when shit goes wrong and we get ourselves in trouble or we got to get ourselves out of trouble, like grappling is just the best way to go. I
It's
lean
not
toward
weird.
yeah.
The
only
Romans
weird-
used to do it naked, so like
Yeah.
you get to do it with clothes on. It's fine.
Nope, we're not even oiling up this time. So, I mean, when you train, it's a little different, but so, and I lean towards jujitsu. That's always going to be my favorite for law enforcement because you're able to do things under more control, I should say. Wrestling would probably be a close second. People, what about Krav Maga? No, it's not law enforcement friendly.
I would say boxing. Boxing actually teaches you space and distance and movement.
And stepping and getting off the X. Yeah. I've been boxing the last 3 years, and I 100% agree. I grappled for so long and avoided any sort of like striking arts, and I consider boxing an art. That I never got tired of the grappling. Like I did judo, did jujitsu, loved both of them, but started doing the boxing the last 3 years, and I love it. And just like you said, one of the mind blowing moments was I'm like, man, I'm like unknowingly constantly just stepping offline, like just always working angles, and just like you said, that's what I call it, sweet science or whatever they call it. Boxing's a great one. I don't like punching people in real life, guys. I don't. You'll hurt unless you got Banning size hands.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. Goes back to Mike Tyson back in I think it's the early 90s. You have a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yeah, everybody's got a plan.
Here's the deal. You can be as badass as you want. You can go out and do asset moving, do this, do that. Until you get punched in the face, what's your plan?
Yeah.
Because people react differently. It's oh my God, their guard goes down. And seriously, if you cannot take a punch in the face, and I've been a bitch learning it in the very beginning, and to where you can actually learn on your pain receptors. The punch in the face, dude, is a serious deal. If you can't take the punch in the face, it's out.
Lawful Acts 1955 said cops need to be better at managing distance and be more comfortable with the hands-on portion of the job. 100%. I
like the comment before that. That's it. Checking the oil is just a bonus. That's
for anybody who knows what checking the oil is. That's an old wrestler move. Man, some of them get brutal with that stuff. So, Wade said, I do Aikido and we watch feet to determine distance. I've never done Aikido. And this is where me and Mr. Billfold get along famously. Palm strikes are preferred over bare knuckle punch in my world, and I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Boss Rutan basically made everybody very painfully aware of how good palm strikes are, because he was knocking everybody out with an open hand. They work, and it'll keep your hands healthy in the job. Up the Elron said, Krav Maga is very offensive, reliant on a lot of attacks. Jiu-Jitsu is great defense and control. Yeah, that's why they're different.
Krav Maga is just like grab the balls and yank. That's all. That's all I remember from it. But yeah, dude, it'll work. So
eyes and balls. That's really what it was. There's a famous video of some sort of special forces military guy against like another country's special forces, and they go to fight. And all the guys are around, and they circle, and there's only one strike even thrown, and it's him throwing his thumb into the dude's eye, and that was it. Yep. It was over. Dropped him because there's a huge nerve center behind your eye. It's a Krav Maga thing. So you can't do that in law enforcement, y'all, unless it's a deadly force situation.
I hate to do this to you, but I got to jam out, guys.
Okay, no worries, brother. We appreciate having you on. How can everybody find you and find your book?
Oh, I'm the Blackwater dude.
There you go.
I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, kind of on X, but yeah, it's just Blackwater dude, the number one, and then the book is the easiest way to get it. It's always Amazon, but you can get it anywhere. It's on Audible now. Rave reviews for Jay Moore reading it. He screwed up a couple of the names of the cities, but we'll give him a pass. He never went overseas.
Well, now that I know that it's on Audible, I'll definitely listen to it because I don't read. I don't read.
It's a good road trip book. It's like 9 hours of just poop jokes, and then
All right, you mix
if you're former military, you'll get it. Like that's just all there is to it. You'll get it.
I love it. Well, brother, we appreciate you staying on and blessing us with your story, and we'll catch you on the next. We got to get you with Donut Shop, and I can't remember who the other person was that was bullshitting with us.
Woodring.
Yeah. So we'll get all of us on, and we'll just shoot the shit, have some drinks, and see what we can come up with. But
Right,
appreciate you being on. We're gonna stick around. I'm gonna stick on Banning.
Yep.
I got some more videos we'll go through. Maybe we'll do some body cam stuff. So, all right, brother.
Morgan, thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Let me go here. There, he's off. Okay. Yeah, I'm in a good mood. I don't wanna stop yet.
I'm right here with you, man.
Let me. Oh, I hate when it does this. Anyway. Okay, let's go to the next video. You're gonna like this one here, brother.
He's a good dude, man. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Morgan's cool. It is just we just linked up on social media. He reached out and he's like, "Hey, would you be interested in having me on?" I was like, "What do you got?" So talked about it. I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's go." I tried. You guys could tell I was trying to move it towards policing the best I could, but it was fun. Either way, it was fun. It was a fun show.
It's a different world, and people don't understand that whole world. They get videos, they get that 10%.
Yep.
Maybe after this, we got 15%. You know what I mean? It's
a
very small world.
Did we do this one before? I don't remember if we did. This is the parking lot. Dude shows his badge off duty.
Yes, we did on I think last week.
Did we?
Yeah. So it was the one that the lady speeding through the parking lot or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like an apartment complex.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we won't cover that one again. I don't want to redo it. Okay. Let's share this tab instead.
There we go.
Okay. So backstory on this one is this guy is some sort of car club dude. I think out of Canada, but he's in the States. And I believe this is Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Okay. And he's parked in an angled parking spot. It looks like it's on a public roadway, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right.
So he backs into it, and they go off and they're walking the town, and then he's coming back to his car and sees this cop writing him a ticket. And he's writing the ticket for being faced out. So I'm going to play from there.
All right.
Here you go, sir. Oh, no parking Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
No, you're allowed to park here. That's 3 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay.
I wrote you for parking facing traffic.
Oh, I didn't know we couldn't do that.
Well, think about it. When you pull out, you're gonna run right into this guy or that guy. Back car, put the car the wrong way, you're still facing traffic.
Well, you understand, rationally back into traffic is dangerous. I assume driving out.
No, I disagree completely, because people will stop you back out and then you go with the flow of traffic. You're crossing the flow of traffic the way you're parked.
Unless I'm going over there.
Proper way to park is the way that the guy in the Lamborghini parked.
He did it right.
Everybody on the street did it right.
How bad's the ticket?
You're not even in the lines. $10 US, so that's 25 Canadians.
Of all the... All right. Dude.
Holy shit.
First and foremost, I've never heard of that traffic law anywhere. Apparently we have it in Texas. Somebody had said in the comments on one of the social media platforms that it's in Austin. They have that in Austin somewhere.
Well, in Texas, I preach to the choir, but it's like if you park the wrong way on the oncoming street, you know, I'm talking about facing traffic on the right side of the road as you're approaching, that's against the law. But where he's parking out there, I've got an argument on that. I mean, that's holy
Either
shit.
way, like the whole logic behind what he's saying doesn't make any sense to me, that you're going to go across traffic. When don't you go across traffic? If I'm stopped at a four-way and I have to make a turn, I still have to cross traffic. So what the fuck is the difference?
100%.
At least if I'm facing out, the cars that are coming towards me,
You can see.
I can see them.
Much better.
Yeah. So I don't get that side of it. So
No.
whatever failed logic of reasoning you're trying to use on this, I don't agree. It's semantics.
Yeah.
And then Why are you writing it to begin with?
Well,
Right?
I think it's probably a city ordinance on top of a state law, if I were to guess.
Okay.
But still, either way, this is really you're gonna take your time to run the registration, run this and this and this. You're gonna print your citation. You're gonna go up there and slap it on the window. What have we solved?
Right. Yeah.
That's the big thing. Is if we're gonna take taxpayer money, what have we solved?
Right. What's the big win in this?
Do we actually distract from crashes? Did we? I mean, what's the big picture on this? That's where I have the problem.
And then him being a cop and writing it, he more than likely ran the plate to see what it was, and it was a Canadian car. So they're not even from here. I'm going to have so much more grace for somebody that's outside of the state than I'm going to have for somebody that's in the state. Because if you're in the state, you should know.
Yeah.
If you're visiting, I'm not trying to, again, this goes into the community relations stuff. I don't want somebody to come to Texas and have a bad taste in their mouth over some bullshit. So, and I get it. Steve Wall said $10 is $10. I get it. It is cheap. It's only $10, but at the same time, like, how does it look on the outside looking in? To me, this is just Eric's opinion. I'm using Banning's line. This is Eric's opinion, is that it is a money grab because you saw a fancy car. It looks like a hater. It looks like a troll ticket. Like, motherfucker thinks he's better than us, driving this fancy car, not parking in he bitched about him not being in the line. His tire was touching the white like that much. Would it have been a touchdown in football? Yeah, it'd have been a touchdown in football, but not by much. You'd had to use a replay on that one.
100%.
So stupid. Oh my God, cops out there. Jesus. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Not on that. That money ain't going in your pocket. Sure as shit ain't going to the police department. My drink's gone. I'm upset. So that shit pisses me off so much. I just don't get it. Let me see what they're saying in the comments here. Lawful Act said $10 fine that cost the city about $100 in labor hours to process. Yeah. See, that's another great point.
At a minimum.
Yeah, at a minimum.
The dispatcher putting him out on the call. He's there. His annual salary and what he's explaining to this person on active calls that are waiting for patrol response. Yeah. Period.
Like I said in the video, I back into every spot. The only time I don't is when it's just significantly more inconvenient to try to back up. Right. And that's the other thing with this offense, air quotes, is if I didn't see it causing any sort of hazard. So if it's not parked so jacked up, like if it was parked jacked up and causing a problem, that's one thing. And then the other thing would be is if he's trying to back into that position because it is angled and now it's causing traffic to back up.
Right.
Like if it's going to be a safety hazard because traffic's backing up. But that looked like it was in the middle of a town. So traffic's already going 30 miles an hour-ish. So they slow down, they wait for you to back into the space, and then they're back on with their day. Like it's not that big a deal. So officers, you got to think things through. And that guy's way too old to not be thinking that way. And I get it. Small town cops, man. I'm not bashing small town cops. You make up the majority. But and I get that there's, you signed up because you wanted to do police work and there's not a lot going on sometimes for a lot. It's not that small town cops never get to do some badass shit. They do, absolutely. But at the same time, like, if there's not a lot to do and you're coming up with this stuff, come on now. I would want that car club to think of our town as a cool place to come visit. Not as, oh no, they're just out there to hem us up because we have fancy cars. So I feel bad for that dude. I think that was a chintzy bullshit ticket there. We covered that one. Okay, this was a good one. This actually got way more traction than I thought it would. I think this one across all platforms, it's sitting around 100,000 views, I think. Let me share the screen here. And it all started because somebody asked me if I thought, did I think this cop mishandled this firearm? And I'm like, well, I'm not really a firearms expert by any means, but let me see what we got here. So I'm going to show you guys the video. AI, by the way, is getting a lot better at just making up its own retro rifle shirts. So this is not a real retro rifle shirt. It just made up its own. I kind of like this one.
Yeah.
Okay, let me hit play here.
You tell me, did this officer mishandle this firearm? All right, let me start off by saying I'm not a firearms expert.
Okay, so I'm going to go back, if it would have let me. I'm going to go back. I'm going to play it one more time because it is fast.
Handle this firearm. All right.
Okay. So what I had said is that I didn't see him pointed at anybody. He didn't flag anybody. Kept his finger off the trigger.
Yeah.
He was keeping it pointed towards the wheel well, which he got the axle and the wheel itself right there, which is a good backstop. The bullet's not going to travel through it. I don't know a whole lot about ricochet, but I don't see it coming back, especially because cops use hollow points. So it's just going to mushroom up against it. Maybe spalled up into the wheel well. But other than that, he was a little aggressive with the slide, which I don't have an issue with either. People say he was kind of doing a little John Wick style. I think when you're using somebody, or when you're trying, you've dealt with a lot of suspect guns and stuff. They're never taken care of.
No.
And so sometimes it's just sticky. And maybe that slide was a little sticky.
Sometimes it locks back before it locks back, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And so you just use a little extra oomph behind it. And that's what I was like. What'd you see, Manny?
Same thing. I mean, I have no problems with it. I'm sure a lot of people did because they don't understand the firearms industry, but
yeah,
say anything negative about
it. Yeah, Just Memphis said, we here in Mayberry. I love it. Love the reference. But yeah, I didn't have an issue with it. There's the basic rules of firearms. Don't point at anybody you don't intend to shoot. Keep your finger off the trigger. Always keep it pointed in a safe direction. What else we got? If you're trying to clear it, make sure visually and physically that it's clear. Keep the slide locked back to the rear, magazines out of the weapon. Am I missing anything else? That's really it. Yeah, that's just don't do that shit. And I didn't see him do anything like that. And again, we don't know if the scene was secure yet. You don't want to be sitting there holding another firearm that you're not familiar with. You got nowhere to put it.
Sure.
And you had a guy on the ground there that his buddy was cuffing up. So I didn't see. I'm looking at the comments here. I don't see anybody else really chiming in saying that they thought it was wrong.
No.
Lawful Act said 4 firearm rules. You can violate one without disaster. More than that, danger is likely. Might be able to violate one lawful. It depends on the rule. I don't know what he's talking about there. The Elron said, don't lick it. Yeah, don't lick it. Don't lick the firearm. That's always weird. Lawful said, was it a SIG? Yeah, if it's a SIG, it'll just, well, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want SIG coming after me. Rumor is, or allegedly, that they just go off on their own. I can say it that way. So
I've never tested it, so I'm not going to go out there and say that that's true or not.
Dude, so many people lost their shit over that video.
Oh, yeah.
It was insane. And so in the video itself was even tagged that somebody needs to write this officer up and get him fired for mishandling this firearm. And I'm like, really? That's what you want to fire somebody over?
Wow.
That's crazy. Okay, so we talked about the backing up one, the mishandling of the firearm. I shared a lot of good cop stories this week. I had a couple haters that got under my skin a little bit, I'll admit, saying all you do is cop bash. All you do is cop bash. I don't think I ever cop bash. I'll put that out there. I think I want accountability for very awesome power that we have, and we need to keep that in check at all times. And there's no better person to remind officers than another officer that you guys can't overstep. And when you do, this is what it looks like. And how do we learn from it? How do we get better? For those that have followed us for a long time, you've realized I'm a stupid idealist and a optimistic person at heart. So I'm going to keep doing that. But at the same time, we need to have good examples. Somebody actually put in the comments, like, you can't keep calling a dog bad or kicking your dog, something to that effect. Can't keep kicking your dog and expect him to think that he's a good boy.
Right.
And I thought that was actually a really good analogy. So you don't want to sit there and just hate on cops to hate on cops. Like, if they do a good thing, even though that's a part of their job, you need to share it and you need to talk about it and explain why it's a good thing. You might inspire the next officer. You might inspire the next future officer. So that's a good thing. I'm going to share this one. Okay, so this guy turns himself in. Okay, I thought this one really pulled at my heartstrings because I've dealt with this myself. Not me having to turn myself in, but somebody turning themselves in to get clean.
Self in for warrants he has.
Get it, so yeah.
So you say sober, alcohol?
Alcohol and meth. So yeah, I blew like a .433 on February 12th. So,
my birthday?
Yeah, I was just like, I know someone sat down next to me, was like, you want to smoke some meth? And I said, sure. And she couldn't find it. And I got up and said, you know what, I'm going to go to church. And I went to the church over there. Yeah. And the pastor's an ex-addict. And I cried the whole time. And I just walked myself into detox. And I was there for 2 weeks. Now I've been at the sober living for like 5 days. And I just said, hey, I got to go take care of these warrants. I don't want to get all situated. So, and get derailed in 6 months. I'd rather get it done now. So,
yeah, I just got to say, I think it's great you're in the right path.
Yeah.
We don't see this very often. We're going to help you take care of these.
I appreciate
You'll
it.
get out once you're listening.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like I said, I like it.
I appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah.
All right, after watching.
Okay, so there's more to unpack on this than what meets the surface level. Like, first and foremost, those officers weren't just turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Right.
They took the time to listen to his story. And they didn't have their hands on their guns. Shit, they were chill.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time they were chill. I felt like they cared. You know what I mean? The way that they were coming across was like they really cared. And so I love that. So you've got that side of it. And this is when we talk about emotional intelligence, it's a hard thing to teach. It's a hard thing to explain, but when you see it, you know it when you see it. And that's what we saw right there. That was emotional intelligence. So if I could ever give you guys a definition or an example, that was it. What do you got, Banning?
No, same thing. I mean, it's like us as patrol officers, we've had a lot of people come up and say, I've got warrants. I can't deal with this anymore. Help me go to jail so I can take care of this. And it's unfortunately, I've dealt with that a lot. I know you have as well. In your career, it's like, okay, well, what's your warrant for and this and that? No, it's for this, this, and this. And it doesn't matter if it's running a stop sign, speeding, even unfortunately child support. It's like, okay, let's figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Find out, is it extraditable? Is it in our county? Can we do something to help this young man, young woman, whoever it is that's asking? And then you run it and you find out and you're like, okay, we can help you out. We can do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
It's what we can do. I mean, if it's a stop sign violation 200 miles away, but they're not willing to extradite, it's like, hey, I'm sorry, man. You're going to have to go down to the reporting agency that's doing this because it's not showing up in our computer. It's, we can't do anything for it because they won't extradite over it because it's in their jurisdiction.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of those. It's, unfortunately, it's where it's at. There's a certain thing that comes across the computer or what the dispatcher tells you on when you run into a person. Can you do anything for them or not?
Yep. I really liked it. I thought it was a good example, and that's kind of what I did for the week. Or I should say, I posted a bunch all at once. It was like 4 or 5 videos of cops just doing cool things. There was that one. There's one where I'm fixing a kid's bike. There was another one of, let me see here. So we had him fixing the bike. A toddler goes out in the middle of the road at night, had snuck out of the hotel room. So you had that one, and the officer found him. And then there was another one where there's a family having kind of like a picnic at the park, and the officer had drove up, came over, and gave them like slushies and stickers. So it's just a lot of community outreach, doing some good stuff. And officers, when you watch those are just ideas. Put them in the little idea bucket that you carry with you when you got some downtime and you're not having to handle calls. Those are all things that you can do. If you're kind of an introvert as an officer, and I get it, some officers, it's weird to say, there are some introverts as law enforcement. Like that's ways to start creeping out of that being introverted, doing things like that. Wade said, I've turned myself in before. It does go a long way with cops. Told booking print, give him a court date and let him go. See? Yeah, that's awesome. Lawful Act said 0.433 is lethal for most people. Might be the bottom that dude needed to hit to start bouncing up. Yeah, absolutely. I guess I didn't even look at what his alcohol level was. Yeah, that's a functioning alcoholic right there.
Big time.
Yeah, damn, crazy. Marine blood. You turned yourself in, Eric. You turned yourself into a great host. Aw, so sweet. So sweet. Yeah. Mr. Billfold said, I dusted off my good Popo playlist this week. It's pretty slim pickings, but it's there. Yeah, Mr. Billfold sends me some. So I've got them in the chamber. I mix them in. I try to be pretty even. I have been a little more trying to hold cops accountable lately, so it was a good change of pace I needed to do, and I'm glad I did it. So I think it did piss off a lot of people.
Yeah.
It pissed off the we want to see the bad cops crowd. I'm like, well, you can see plenty of that.
Oh yeah.
So I got called a bootlicker quite a bit pushing those ones out. So they're not our main community, guys. That's okay. Okay, let's get into our what do you call it? Body cam review stuff. Let's at least do one.
Sure.
Let me pull this guy up. Shout out to Police Activity YouTube channel. That's where we are looking. Share screen. Anybody that knows what we do or doesn't know what we do here, basically, we watch a body cam video that we've never seen before, and then we pretend that we are the cops in the video and break it down as it develops. So I'm going to biggie size this one. Don't eat up. Okay, there we go. And let me turn the volume down just a little bit because it's been loud in my ear. Here we go.
Can you do any tricks on that scooter? Nah. Yo, we got strapped.
Oh, I didn't realize we were pulling out a gun already. I was just getting ready to say, okay, we got a fight breaking out in front of the cops.
Yep.
That is crazy. It just depends on the state you're in. In Florida, this is probably perfectly fine. In Texas, I think this is I don't think this would be bueno. This guy did come up and start the fight.
It's still assault.
Yeah, it's assault, but I don't know if that gives you the right to pull out a hand cannon. It just depends on what he sees, and there's so many unknowns right now. We don't know if this guy pulled out a gun because the guy that walked up and tried to fight him was threatening him with something else. We didn't see it. So, all right. So for me right now, I'm unassing my vehicle if I'm in it. That's the other thing. We don't know if the cops are actually in those cars or if they're just there to be barriers for cars so they can't build up a bunch of speed and run through people. Kind of looks like an entertainment district. So I'm actually going to
Hey!
a little bit. I want to see.
Yo, what we got? Strap. Hey! Oh, go this way.
Please stop! Get down!
Okay. So you're running up to a scene and there's somebody shooting a gun. This is the shitty part as a cop. Because what if that guy was defending himself? That's a real possibility. And now you just shot a guy simply because he was firing a gun. Like that. This is a hard one. This is a busy area or somewhat busy area. What do you got, Banning?
No, same thing. I mean, it's all you can see is that responding officer is somebody's firing a gun.
Yeah.
You don't know if the other party has a gun. You don't know if they don't. You're trying to end that threat right now.
Yeah, you just see what looks like a threat and somebody that, maybe he's putting two and two together and seeing like, okay, he's shooting in the direction of a person that I don't see has a gun. That could have been what's going through his mind. But
Sure.
This is one of the decision-making things that you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life. And you can get anybody that's dealt with adrenaline, like you can get wrapped up. You're not thinking clearly in situations like this sometimes. So
Down on the fucking ground!
So they hear the shooting going on. Whew.
Henry 235, shots fired. Get down! Don't move!
Kick the gun right over to the other guy.
Roll over, dude. Roll over. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. I can't, bro. Dude, yes you can. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach.
All right. Yeah, you got to let the adrenaline kind of go through you here. He got shot. Like, it doesn't mean he can roll over. He's probably not even registering what you're telling him.
No.
So sometimes you just got to make people do what you're trying to get them to do. Now, I agree. You got to get them secure. You got to make sure there's no other weapons, and then you got to go into first aid. You got to secure the scene first and do first aid. That's what I'm looking at from here. You got anything to add?
No, 100%. That's what you covered.
All right, let's keep going.
Get on your fucking stomach. Arm, bro.
Now, he's the guy that tried to do the fight, right?
So I think he's the one that jumped on the scooter. Am I not?
I'll go back when we get a second because there's more in this video. But I think he was the one that tried to fight, like fist fight. And then another person, the other guy's the one that had the gun.
Right.
I think.
There we go.
That's the type of response you want from an officer. Here's a gun, moves towards the gunfire. That's a good officer.
What happened? We were just standing here, we heard the shots, and then I heard some ricochets over here, but I don't know.
All of a sudden, I felt something hit me and I fell. Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
All right, I'm going to go back. I want to see. Okay, this is the guy that draws the gun. And then the dude in the white was the one trying to fight.
me? Yeah, you too. I already have countdown.
Yo, what we got? Strap. Hey. Oh, go this way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the guy in the black shirt's the one that pulled the gun.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
After getting pushed off the scooter, he's like, you know what? I got some heat here.
Yeah. That's how I saw that. But so yeah, that's a shitty scenario to be in. And it looks like they possibly shot the wrong person. Or that bad guy's the one that shot everybody. We don't know. I don't know what the final outcome of that was. Let me see what it says in the description. Albuquerque, New Mexico, on June 20th, 2026, confrontation proceeded between an unrelated incident when a 41-year-old reported being pepper sprayed and having his cell phone stolen during the altercation. Authorities said Grigo later shared the video about that encounter on social media, and investigators believe he armed himself before returning to the area on July 3rd. Oh, this occurred on July 31st, maybe? Because of what happened before previously, just before midnight, Grigo was riding an electric scooter near Central Avenue and 3rd Street when he became involved in a verbal dispute with 40-year-old Juan Ortega. The argument quickly turned into a physical altercation after Ortega shoved Grigo, who then moved around a nearby barricade, pulled a handgun from his waistband, and opened fire. So we were right. That's the right person that shot. According to investigators, Grigo fired 2 shots within seconds of each other. Police say the first bullet struck 38-year-old Richard Thyberg, so he was the bystander, who had become involved in the confrontation, while the second hit Ortega. Officers assigned to patrol to the busy downtown nightlife district heard the gunfire and immediately rushed towards the scene. As they closed in the encounter, Grigo, while the armed confrontation was still unfolding, officers repeatedly ordered him to stop before 4 officers fired their weapons, striking Grigo multiple times. Police later said one officer reported believing Grigo was advancing towards the wounded Ortega, who was already on the ground, creating what officers perceived to be an immediate deadly threat. Okay, so they thought they were in defense of somebody. Turns out they were in defense of the right person.
Sure.
Grigo was taken into custody and transported to a local hospital where he later died from his injuries. Investigators said he suffered 6 gunshot wounds. The shooting left 4 people injured. Ortega, Thyberg both survived their gunshot wounds, although Ortega later died afterwards from what police described as an apparent overdose unrelated to the shooting.
Right.
A 4th victim, who was standing roughly a block away, was struck by a stray bullet that investigators believe may have been fired by an officer. Ooh.
Not good.
Yeah, though officials say ballistics and trajectory testing must be completed before the source can be confirmed. Detective also recovered a Glock 48 handgun at the scene, and investigators later learned the firearm had allegedly been stolen from a friend of Grigo before the shooting. This remains under review by the Task Force Internal Affairs, So, yeah, man. Crazy.
Don't know everything, but I think most of it's on camera.
Yeah, for sure. Shotguns and tattoos. I see she bounced. Sorry, I missed that. Good night. Yeah, and looking at the chat, looks like everybody's pretty much wrapped up what we already talked about.
100%.
That's what I've got for tonight. I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a good one.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah. Yeah, Morgan was great. Great interview. Fun to talk to. Funny. Looking over at TikTok and Instagram. We had some people chime in over there. Appreciate you guys. Got some roses sent over on TikTok. Thank you.
I literally had a 5-hour drive, got here, got my equipment upstairs, got it in the room, and we went live. So I apologize for any unprofessionalism on my side with the cameras and everything else, man. It's I was like, I'm not missing this. Here we go. And I ran into construction. I finally got here to San Antonio, and I'm glad I was able to come on with you.
Hell yeah, brother. This was a good one. So, for the donations tonight, Harrison and what was the other guy? Begins with an R. I can't scroll back and find it because it's gone. Rumble joined us and got a membership. So thank you guys very much. Morgan, thank you for joining us tonight. I know he's not here with us, but maybe he'll hear it. We will get this downloaded and get it uploaded to our Buzzsprout so it hits Apple and Spotify and all the other cool spots so you can listen. Once again, guys, great show, great audience. Thanks everybody for chiming in and being a part of the community. I think that's what makes us so fun is we really do have a good community. If you're listening in the interwebs and you're not participating in the chatting, that is really part of the benefit of this show. I would love for you guys, whether you like police, hate police, anything like that, you want to see some change or you really got something to say, man, just reach out to us, chat in the comments with us. And I promise as long as you're somewhat on the realm of just trying to have a real conversation, we're all about it. Yes. So if you come in though and you're like, FTP, and you just keep repeating that we're self-proclaimed heroes and you don't actually have a topic that you want to touch on, you just want to troll us, like you can sit there and troll, but we're just not going to chat with you. That's all. Good. But all right, guys, we got some great interviews coming Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. Join us, and everybody have a good night.
Appreciate it, y'all.